All right, so hello. I'm no one for nowhere. No sitting around and waiting for this crap to make sure it's working or not because it is being buggy as crap right now. Super buggy for like no reason. Yeah, I hate when I start a live and the thumbnail's like, you know what? We're just not gonna load as a thumbnail. Godzilla, hello and welcome. Um, Yeah, some stuff just went wrong in my last live, so I had to like close it, started back up. Um, wait, are there noises? Yeah, turn up the volume of Warframe by a smidge, just like a smidge. Confirm. Perfect. Jack, hello and welcome. I am playing a new dude in Warframe, and I love him. He's my favorite new dude. And he's beautiful, and he goes around and he just spreads all the status. Everyone's either on fire, burning in a different way than fire, I guess, melting, or any other status effects you can think of in this game. He's doing. um Today's a wacky day. Like, Valentine's Day is kind of wacky in general this year, because my one friend, and I'm not gonna, I don't know too much about it, but he just like messaged me and he was just like, yo, do you know Russia just bombed Chernobyl? And I'm like, why did they bomb Chernobyl, the place that's soaked in radiation? And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. And everyone's just like, they were just trying to cause a nuclear fallout. And I'm like, oh my god, they're trying to cause a nuclear fallout on Valentine's Day. I'm not sure if that's like a cry for help or them being diabolical. Apparently, I'm North Mountain meets the Robinson here. Which one's Meet North? I haven't seen Meet the Robinsons Future, that one movie, in frickin' forever. It was like one of those movies that I watched and I was like, well, I watched it. That's good enough for me.
The reactor is a complex system. Start by removing the coolant cells.
And it was like one of those things too. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought because I was like, what's the mission here? And also, I don't want to get too deep in conversation because stream is just started. So by the 6 or 8 minute mark, YouTube can't buffer fast enough and I'll tell you it crashed. Or it's over, but it's not over. And wait, where is everybody else? Where did they all go? Normally, I'm the slowest one here. How did I beat all those guys? You know what? While that's happening, I'm just gonna adjust. You know, I saw that person start shooting at the person, and I'm like, okay, now I understand why it took them so long.
Now is your chance to complete this sabotage. Use whatever you can to make sure it never works again.
Alright, I just need to stun them in this room. Or not.
Fuel cell
you know, we don't need to stun them. We can just...
This will trigger a meltdown.
Oh, frick. I hate those freaking Eximus so much. Or we just gotta destroy some crap and that's it. That's it! Hooray! Alright, now I can get the heck out of here. But, oh no, come on, pop that door open. Are you actually hacking? Don't tell me you don't have those little cheat ciphers. I think that's the first Warframe I've seen, like, actually hack when you don't have to actually hack.
Wise fathers, the low thieves shall never know the cool caress of your crown.
Oh, I guess I froze these dudes. That's nice. Wait, they killed the dude but didn't pick up the item? I mean, like, I'll take a free item. But, I find it funny that this game is older than most people on this app. Yeah, Warframe came out in 2011. That's when Warframe came out, which is nuts that a game's lived this long. Honestly, I feel like you need the success of Warframe needs to be studied. Because I feel like they do the free-to-play the best. Quite literally. Because free-to-play is annoying, because if you ever played Clash of Clans, I don't think anyone's ever played Clash of Clans anymore. But it's like Clash of Clans to it's like there's not time-gated content, but whenever you make a new Warframe or a new gun, it takes a day, it takes 3 days, it takes 7 days. Warframes take a week to build. Or 5 days. I can't remember which one. But all new Warframes and guns take time to build. And the bigger the object is, such as a Warframe's the biggest, the smallest being like a sidearm, which takes like 12 hours, which is like a pistol. That's how this game operates. That's how they get you. That's their freemium strategy. It's good job. You worked hard for that gun. Now you have to wait 24 hours. And it's like, well, I don't want to wait 24 hours. And then also you have limited slots to slot stuff in. Also the streams crash. So you just gotta come back and then jump back in. But, God. Also, yo, no one. How's your point and laugh at the single day going pretty good, you know. All the stuff just fell off my desk. A lot of my stuff just fell off my desk, actually. Which, crashed again. It's not really I crash, it's that YouTube crashes. It's not a problem on my end. Like, my Wi-Fi is fine. It's too consistent to be, like, any of the machinery. I looked into it, and it's just, like, one of those things to it's, like, that's just how YouTube is. Because it's not, like, an official streaming platform. It's, like, I don't know. I don't want to say it's, like, three rats on a wheel, but that's just how YouTube is with streaming. They just don't quite have it down yet. Because they're a video sharing, not a streaming platform, majority of it.
Stay focused. There's a heavy unit.
But I mean, like, most games cannot be, like, paid to win as Clash Royale. Warframe gives it a good try to be pay to win at some points. But, the pay to wins, like,
we've got infested incoming.
how do I explain this?
Location reached.
It makes sense. Like, I've dropped, like, tons of money over the years of playing Warframe on Warframe. Where'd my audio go?
A juggernaut nearby. It will only attack when it senses high.
Why'd my audio break? Did I trip something? Did something, like, on my... Why can't I hear anything? I can't hear my everything. Okay, I guess I'm just death for this mission. Warframe's been buggy today. And it's just been super duper freaking weird how buggy Warframe has been.
No longer detecting signs of a juggernaut.
I was playing some earlier with this guy, because I was like building it out, and I'm like theory crafting, and not theory crafting, but I was like watching videos and all that junk. I also forgot I was talking about before. Oh yeah, the free-to-play stuff in Warframe. Oh yeah, so before I talk about just what I was doing earlier, yeah, the free-to-play stuff in Warframe, I like it. It's good, and you can whale, and it's just the only reason to rail is just like to get stuff sooner. But also, the second advantage to whaling is the fact that there's an in-game player market that isn't just a bunch of kids trying to what's the word I'm looking for? Just trying to like rip you off. Warframe people are actually like crazy chill for no reason. At least the ones I've met a lot of the time. I mean, like, every community has those people with the few screw looses, which I've definitely met. Like, some Warframe players I've met, they low-key just have, like, the world's biggest, what's the word I'm looking for? Abandonment issues. And this is like one story I always tell about Warframe, to where I'm like, yo, I met some dude, I played with him for a week, I went on vacation because it was summer. I think it was like 4th of July. I came back, I checked my Xbox, and this grown man had like an entire existential crisis because I wasn't talking to him for a week. And it was absolutely nuts to me. And I was like, bro, I'm like, we literally played like 5 missions together, and you're having a crisis because I didn't respond to you within 10 minutes, let alone like 3 days, because I was gone for a week. And it was the weirdest thing. And it was clear that he was like a grown man. Like, you know, when you talk to somebody online, it's like you can like kind of gauge how old they are. It's like he's not like a deep voiced teenager, and it's like, no, like this man was like talking to me about like taxes, and I was like, bro, I'm like young, I'm not paying taxes. And it was just one of those things where I'm like, I'd rather just play the game. He's like, yeah, whatever. And it was like one of those things where I was like, I wanted to trade with him because I got a bunch of the premium currency, and I traded for a bunch of the in-game stuff because I was doing trading, and the guy was like, I just needed people to play Warframe with at the time. And I was like, why not? Because that's how you make online friends. And it was just one of those things where it's like it didn't click. And a lot of time when it doesn't click, people go their own way. Not this guy. Not this guy by a mile. But yeah, he's the reason why the offline button exists on games. Man, this is really bugging me. Okay, this is gonna change after this mission. The stupid audio thing. I hope you guys are getting it, because I'm not getting it. And it looks like you guys are getting it, thank God. Alright. Got this loser that's about to come on through.
The odds were against
But
us,
anyways,
Kyle, but we did it.
I used to be like TBH 9 Titan and TBH Legend, but it was pretty well against like the 13 pluses. Yo, that's honestly, I feel like that's every free Clash of Clans player makes it to like Town Hall 9 or 10, because that's what I'm at too. And all Loki, if a person is a grown man, and he should know that people can like hop off the internet. Yeah, it was wild. It was so obscene to me that I'm like, this person was acting that way, and I was like, it ain't that deep. And I think I only appeared offline because that was like still at the period of time where I still haven't quite figured out when and when not to use the block button. But now I'm like, whenever anyone like gets a little creepy or like a little weird, I'm like, yo, just fat block button immediately. All right, let me check my cables to... Oh, I found it. Okay. My phone unplugged my... Break this on my monitor? No, maybe so. No. No, that's not the right plug. OBS moments, of course. There's nothing wrong with the... Okay, so it is just like... Because my phone fell and it just went on top of my audio mixer and it just like smashed it. So give me a second to just like problem fix. Oh, here it is. Somehow when it fell, it muted everything. Okay, so yes, no, maybe that fixed it. It's hard to tell if it fixed it because there's like no music, no nothing here. Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah, we back, we back. Okay, but that was really weird. My phone fell, and so my computer was just like, you know what we should do? We should just mute all the audio immediately. Or I had one time I was recording, and a boss fight for a friend in OBS broke like 3 times before it went through. I find a lot of times with like any type of software you're using to record or anything, oftentimes it's been me. I definitely believe you 100% like that definitely happened. Also, I never said hello to everybody because I was in such a rush because the last stream scuffed out and it's like 4 o'clock and not to my more closer 3 o'clock time I like to reach. I'm gonna be honest with you too. I totally fell asleep before this stream. I've been like absolutely what's the word I'm looking for? Not overworked, but like I've been trying to do too much lately and then I just been falling asleep randomly. Like the insomnia moment. Even though I don't have insomnia. It's just one of those things to when something happened and my sleep schedule just got out of whack. But I'm fixing it today. I only took like 30 minutes. I fell asleep. I slept for an hour and a half, unfortunately, instead of 30 minutes that I wanted to. But how does that work? So I could. It depends how you have that boss fight set up. I mean, like, if you're holding a microphone up to your speaker to try and get the audio to come through, it probably didn't read it. If it was digitally, you probably didn't have the right output. That's one of the problems I had. Like you didn't have like the properties set up for the microphone and like display and all that junk. That's something I did a lot when I was trying to figure out how like this whole Streamlabs crap works.
They have just shut down all
And
systems. I'm sending
it was
life
just
support capsules
goofy
your
and
way.
it sucked. And you know what I found out too? And it was like, there is a way to multicast, and I set up a Twitch because I was like, maybe in the future I might want to do Twitch for some games because Twitch has like interactivity in the sense where I'm like, yo, you guys can engage even harder if I had a Twitch. For occasional, like obviously I would want to stay on YouTube and then also do Twitch and dual cast. And I'm like, how do people dual cast? Because I've been seeing people like go from like Twitch and TikTok on the same time simultaneously, and I'm like, how do you do that? And I found out it's like a third-party thing, and the third party is like you need a subscription to use it, and I'm like, I don't got money for a subscription. Subscription is the death of the bank account. God, I hate subscriptions. I like buying things and owning things. That's a whole conversation I had with somebody. I'm not sure if that was one of you dudes that's here at this present moment, but someone was like, you actually don't have to own any of your digital content. And I'm like, dude, I know. But at least I bought it and I have the user agreement and I'm not gonna commit, you know, grand treason against, I don't know, the world. But nah, there is an OBS plugin and it's free. I feel a bud of mine had it working. Wait, a plugin for third-party streaming, like dual casting, or a plugin as in you got the audio fixing? But real soul players dodge the right time, the right attack. The Nameless King, I was not. That's my cowardly crossbow, max powered, to not most of 99% of his health. Hey, you know, I'm not gonna fault another fellow Souls player for being like over leveled. I only have a problem with Souls players who are like, oh man, I beat the Nameless King, he was so easy, and then you have the bow build like that. And I'm not saying to make like a horrendous build, but I'm like, bro, if you're like 500 levels above the Nameless King, or there's a way to where you killed him and he basically didn't touch you, or never had the capacity to touch you, I'm like, that's not a boss fight. You shot a fish in a barrel. You killed a rat in a trap. Like, that, there was no sport, there was no game to what you did to that boss. The amount of people I've met online who like love to flex that they beat Dark Souls, and I'm like, how'd you beat it? And they're like, maxed out dex, maxed out health, which is fine. But they're like also like the most broken weapon, and it did like an exploit for like infinite souls for their first playthrough. And I'm like, did you even try playing through like not being 200 levels above the enemy? And they're like, no, they're too hard, obviously. No one does it. And I'm like, bro, I'm like the same level of the boss, if not like maybe 10 above or 10 below. And I see that health bar move, and if that health bar moves, it's good enough for me. I'm locked in for the next 8 hours till something happens. But enjoy how you want, and there's nothing wrong with that bow build, player. Honestly, I think that's super cool too. Like I said, the only time I have a problem with it when somebody's like on the internet or like in my face and they're like, oh, bro, I'm like so good at this game, you should listen to my opinions. And I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna listen to your opinions. You don't got opinions. You don't got the right to have opinions with the way you did that. That's like somebody who's like, I know stuff about cars, and it's like, what did you do to your car? And they're like, I put this sticker on the side and I had its oil changed. It's like, bro, you don't know anything about cars then. And they're like, that sticker was really hard to put on. It has to be waterproof. It's like, yeah, bro. Okay, bro. I'm sure that was really hard. But anyways, I always play with like Dex because it's just like my idea of glass cannon. Dex is fine. Dex is fine. Like, Dex is one of those builds where I'm like, yo, that's still a legit build, but some Souls players are like, really like, you didn't go like the max strength, because some Souls player are like the opposite of like what you did, and they make intentionally bad builds, and they go like completely naked, and they're like, you're not playing the game right unless you're like completely naked. It's like, bro, well, I don't want to be naked. I want to have the hobbled armor on. I like being a giant man made of stone and rock with a big stick. Okay, that's how I personally like to play the strength build. The strength build is just enjoyable to me, and oh, I just got rocked.
When you are ready,
I'm just gonna keep firing at him, and hopefully something happens. I'm not even sure if he's still here. This isn't an AoE weapon. But, yeah, there's nothing wrong with the Dex. And there's two sides of the spectrum. You have players with, like, builds more brain dead than what Slayer described. And trust me, they exist. Builds more brain dead than that. And that's perfectly okay to play with your maxed out bow build. Because, honestly, no one makes bow builds. And I actually respect the bow build. It's like magic builds, so it's like your only magic, and there's always a point in the game to where magic isn't good against one boss, and you just gotta get good. Because that's how I did my first Dark Souls game. I was like, yo, it's got magic, and I played Dark Souls 3. That was the first one I started on, and I went full mage. I was like, I don't want to melee. I want to shoot fireballs at everything, and I had, like, a sword, and then that was it. And then I just wore wizard robes the entire time because that's what I wanted to do. And some bosses were like, first try, I knocked it out of the park. And then there was one boss to where it was like 99% resistance to magic, and I had to just like get good. I had to lock in so hard against that boss. But the Onion Knight was decent to wear in terms of melee deals less damage. I never wear Onion Boy's armor. I need to wear his armor at some point in my life and be an Onion Bro. I don't even know his like actual name. I just know him as Onion Bro because he is Onion Bro. You had to get good. I did had to get good. And Godzilla, I want to say how absolutely impressed I am that you spelled get good correctly. Within the correct context, too. I'm not sure if you're at, like, any of those Dark Souls streams I did in the distant past, to where I was explaining to, like, my 2 viewers the proper way to spell get good if they wish to flame me in Dark Souls, in proper Dark Souls, shit-talking etiquette. Which is that right there. The get with the I and the good with the 1 U instead of the 2 O's. Also, I want to point out how crappy defection is the game mode is in Warframe. It's literally a game mode where you have to charge up air purifiers and have to escort civilians to like 3 different points and wait for them to walk to each one. It's horrendous. It's horrible. It's annoying. It's tedious. It sucks. I was there. I'm still very proud of you, Godzilla, for remembering the proper ways, or just knowing the proper way of spelling get good.
Me too.
That's not even Dark Souls. I don't want to say the best get goods are in Dark Souls, but like, in my opinion, like, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but I feel like the best get good moments are in all the Dark Souls games. Because there's always that one boss in every Dark Souls game to where it's like, man, this is really hard. And it's like, yo, you know what you gotta do? You gotta, like, put on your big boy pants, strap into your seat, pick up your controller, and kill the frickin' boss. Get down to it and just start hacking and slashing till it stops moving. Alright, I wish to... How do I want to do this build? Do I want to minus my range for more defense, or do I just want to up vitality? I could just up vitality real quick. Alright, let me go here. Let me put that on. Let me go here. Let me get Cunning Drift. Slap that on.
Excellent armaments.
Alright, so
operator.
right before you
Please
fight
return
the
Cover me in
Radiant,
blood.
safe and sound.
there was some boss fights in Hollow Knight while I was like, yo, this is like hard as butts. And you weren't here for it, but like I finished Hollow Knight for the first time this year, or was it last year? I don't know. It's always weird at the beginning of the new year to it's like, was that this year or last year? But within recent months, I finished Hollow Knight, and it was one of those things to where I was like, so many people were like so helpful, and I'm so absolutely grateful for all the people who dropped by and gave me hints during my Hollow Knight streams, which almost never happens because, like I said, like I didn't say this yet, but like small streamer, small viewer base, so I don't really get pushed out a lot, unfortunately. But it's one of those things where I was like, it's really magical to turn my TV down because it's really freaking loud for some reason. Okay, I turned it down. I had to get up and get my controller, or the remote for the TV. It was on the table across the room. But, yeah, it was one of those things where I'm like, obviously, like, every time I have viewers in any stream, I'm like, this is just, like, a blessing to have people watching. Because I've streamed for, like, 8 hours and, like, had no one show up. And it's, I don't want to say it's a horrible feeling, but it's one of those things where it's like, yo, that's just to be expected. Just like how when there's new comedians or like new baseball players or like any new type of form of entertainment, no one shows up to the new guys' stuff because no one knows the new guy.
Provost Grantham already has exhibition units in the field,
I need
but if he gets his hands on
one
enough of
more
Jane's
Arcane
golden
Grace and then that's maxed out.
bye.
If you don't know what arcanes are in Warframe, these arcanes like Grace, Energize, and Barrier are insanely rare and hard to get, and having an event that dispenses them is so huge. It's really magical to turn my TV down. Yo, I just want to point out, if you brought a TV like 70 years, like a modern TV, into the past and you held up a remote control for the TV, it would blow their minds. And also they would look at our TVs and be like, that's not a TV. That's like a piece of plastic that's like insanely skinny. And it's like, no, bro, that's a TV. And it's like, nah. It's like, yeah, bro. The whole TV. It would blow their minds. But yeah, it's always hard for small streamers to go up. Number don't go up all the time, and that's okay. But also, I think it's good that number don't go up for small streamers too. Because I'm not sure if you guys like watch any of the drama. I personally freaking hate YouTube drama. But there was this one I've been paying attention to because I was like, there's some streamers I like to like peek in on occasionally because I'm like, yo, I think they're just genuinely good people. And they're just like people that just want to entertain. Like, obviously they make like a buttload of money because they're huge now. But it's one of those things where it's like, yo, they're still like themselves. They're not like, oh my god, guys, let's get that like bits and hype trains and like all the money out the butt sent into my bank account immediately, guys. It's like, nah, it's like, they're like, I'm here to play a game and I'm here to entertain, and you guys may torture me if you wish to do so. And I wish you all have a happy day. And I'm like, yo, that's what I want to be at some point. I want to be the dude that people turn on and they're like, yo, I'm going to eat my cup of ramen noodles after my part-time job or after school, and then turn my brain off and watch no one just absolutely suffering Dark Souls. As he yaps about like the most random thing he never knew existed. But, let me get to my point now, because that was a lot of like running around and dancing around the current subject I want to talk about. So there was a there's this WoW guild, and they're all big streamers, and they're helping promote small streamers. And I don't want to say small streamers most of the time have the charisma of a freaking black hole. But oh my god, and I mean like they're a black hole of charisma, as in like it's a hole and all the charisma gets sucked into it and it disappears. Not as in they're so charismatic people can't help but be attracted to them. I'm like, no, these people are like the most mouth breather, minimal effort, showed up to a stream and sit there for 12 hours and say absolutely nothing with a web camera on and with gameplay that's not even good. Type streamers. And when I mean like gameplay that's not even good, apparently WoW has, and they're playing WoW by the way, a bunch of extensions that basically play the game for you, so you don't have to calculate all the numbers, which is fine. I love aids like that. But there's like, that's to the point to where it's like, yo, if there's a bad situation, the game will put in big red letters, run away from it. And I'm like, yo, at that point, I'm like, you're just a bot. Like, if the game has to make your important in and out decisions for you, I'm like, that's like bot behavior to me. But basically the drama is hardcore WoW. They did a raid, some people died because somebody ran away and everyone else started running away because they didn't hear the proper calls in the raid, and it just went bad in so many ways, as such as raids do. And that's the risk of playing hardcore WoW. But it was one of those things where it's like, yo, it's this guy's fault because everyone had his POV on. It's like, yo, he had mana, he could have like done this, he could have done that. And it's like, bro, I'm like, honestly, I don't play WoW, but that situation was messed up. And a lot of things that shouldn't happen happened. But in games, sometimes when you're raiding, stuff happens when it shouldn't happen. And it's hard and it's complex, and you gotta either lean into the random chaos of it, or you just gotta dip. And a lot of people chose to dip, and I don't blame them. It's hardcore, and everybody, like, it was like one of those things where it's like everyone's like, yeah, if you run That's one of those things where it's like, if it's said, you run, you run. And it was said to run, and the guy ran, and then everyone's like, it's your fault that he died. And everyone's just like really mad at him, and he was like coming at it from his, he's like, you know what? He's like, I don't think that's fair because I followed the command like everybody else, and everyone's like, no. And everyone just pounced on him, and I'm like, yo. And everyone just hated him because apparently he had like an ego, quote unquote, about it, but he was like the most like level-headed. He was like, yo, this is like this and that. But that's just the thumbnails, or the clip, not the thumbnails, the cliff notes of that whole situation was something got messed up, somebody got blamed, and it wasn't their fault, and everyone just went on a witch hunt. And now, like 2 months later, they're doing it all over again, and they're going through the POV of everybody else's stuff now at this time, and they're realizing that all the people that play WoW for like 500 hours a week suck at the game. Like, they're like legitimately bad at it. And I'm like, and I'm not sure if it's a new incident, but, or it's like the old raid video, but it's them realizing that all the people that were there, suck. And they not only suck, they're like horrible people that would not bail out a fellow player. And I'm like, that sucks. I mean, like, if you play WoW for 500 hours a week, if your character wipes, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think you're going to lose much. It actually gives you more to do. But, yeah, the internet loves hating. The news also, the little phrase, if it bleeds, it leads. People love drama. People love blood. Like, why do you think there's so many streamers where it's like, there's some streamers that are like, I don't want to say their entire content plan is being a victim, but like their entire content plan is being a victim. And it's not to the point to where it's like, oh man, here's like a VTuber and you can like drop stuff on them or like throw them across the room and the person will scream. That's kind of funny, you know, that takes some like time to set up, that takes some money to get a V2 model. I'm like, I like that, but like there's some people with like web cameras and they're like just starting like drama, like reality TV shows, and I'm like, yo, this is dumb. This isn't fun. And that you're 120% correct, Hut, to where it's in human nature to where people find enjoyment in watching other people suffer, bleed, or just drama in general. Like, I've had friends and they're like, yeah, I can't have fun unless there's like some drama going on in my life, and I'm like, those friendships at some point died with those people, no matter how amazing they were, because they were just so drama driven at some points where I'm like, yo, I don't want drama in my life. I want to be able to sit here and then just kind of chill and just be happy and not be like, oh man, like he said, she said crap. I'm like, that's so freaking annoying. And I've dropped people because they were like, yo, drama this, drama that, and they're just like trying to start drama with me, and I'm like, no. I'm like, I'd rather be by myself than be stuck in drama again. I know it sells like hella edgy, but it's 100% true. News for the past like 100 years has been, if it bleeds, it leads, with nothing but murders and tragedies. Greeks in the Colosseum. Oh man, you want to stop a bunch of peasants from uprising? I know. Let's put a bunch of peasants in there with a bunch of our guards and have the guards kill a bunch of animals and peasants, and the peasants can like walk in there and give us money to watch this blood sport. Like, quite literally, that's how they kept a lot of people passive back in the day, with just Colosseums and blood sport. Like 200, 300, if not thousands of years ago. And I say thousands because I'm like, there definitely was blood sport before BC. But it's just hardwired into our code. But it's one of those things where I'm like, people are animals that have logic, and we can ignore our code. In which case, we can ignore the need for drama and blood sport and you know, just like pillaging and murder, because we've been doing it for the past like 1,000 years. Easy. Well, at least the majority of us. All right, what do I want to do to kill? I want to go and collect material, but I think I just want to like just mindlessly talk and just kill a mass amount of enemies. So maybe just like a quick resource run. Yeah, let's do a resource run. Yeah, if you have a friend group with literally zero drama, those are the people you want to hold on to. 100%. Finding people now is like so incredibly hard. My entire school, there's parts of me where I'm like, man, I want to get a girlfriend, but like literally like this isn't like some like incel like way of being like, oh man, all women are trash and this and that and the other thing. No, not at all. Like legitimately, like objectively, like I have a checklist of like the majority of the girls in my school are like quite literally horrid human beings. Like legitimately. And like some of the guys even act like little girls to where it's like, yo, they have a problem. They will be like, yo, bro, I didn't like that you said that to me. Or like, I didn't like that you said that slur. No, they're like, go home, go to their phone, start up a new group chat with all their other friends and be like, wow, did you hear that they said this slur in a joke? And it was like, bro, that was comedy. That's how comedy works sometimes. Sometimes it's a little not okay. And the girls, like one of the girls at my school made a hit list, and it was like one of the things where I was like, oh my god, like the school like legitimately shut down at one point, and it was just like a list of people that they would kill, and I was like, it was the biggest drama bomb I think that's happened at my school, with some girl making a hit list. Like friendships were ruined, secrets were kept, like people were like excommunicated from social groups, and I was like, yeah. And there was another one to where it was like this one girl was so freaking stupid. She followed somebody from the grocery store home because they thought they were a murderer. And I'm like sitting at my lunch table and I'm like, let me get this straight. I'm like, you followed a guy you suspected to be like a criminal to his house. And they're like, yeah, to make sure that he doesn't commit any crimes. And I'm like, that is quite literally the dumbest thing. And I'm like, and what like evidence did you have to go on? And they're like, he just looks kind of ugly. And I was like, are you literally that shallow? The majority of them are so shallow that if they were a puddle and I stepped in them, my feet wouldn't get wet. And it's obscene to me. And it's one of those things where it's like, even like my friends and family and like people who like visit the school would go like, oh my god, that has to be like the worst class I've like been a part of. Like no joke, no like incel like being like women are trash, people are trash. Like legitimately, like I look at like people outside of school and I'm like, they're infinitely better than the people in my school. And let alone like my school is like bleached white. Like there is like no diversity whatsoever, and that's not a problem most of the time. But I'm pretty sure 80% of my class is scared of black people. Legitimately, because of how whitewashed it is. Like we got like 2 black dudes, like African Americans, across like 4 grades, and I'm like, yeah, I'm like, this is like way past okay. And I hope I did a well enough job painting a vivid picture for you of how absolutely horrible my school is. So whenever you think school is horrible, just know that you're not going to no one's school, because it's absolutely atrocious. Are you sure the people at your school have brains? No, like they legitimately don't have brains at my school. Like I'm not good at book smart stuff, but like, oh my god. Like they are so mentally deficient that I'm like, are you sure you weren't like born with like anything wrong with you? Like, were you like raised in a blank room or something? And I live under a rock. Like, I don't know like modern music, modern slang, or any of that stuff, because modern slang dies in a year, so there's no point in learning it. Like aura farming, that's gonna be dead in a few months. It's already been around for too long. It's gonna be gone soon. People are gonna stop typing it and spamming it all the time. But 95% of my class needs mental help. 120%. But I mean, like, teenagers do most of the time need mental help here and there. But it was like to the point where I was like, this is like beyond like okay. And that's only the stuff I heard about. Like, there's another incident where I'm like, yo, they're like breaking into like trailers, and I'm like, are you guys like, I'm like, where are you guys finding trailers? And they're like, yeah, we just like found trailers that like people have for vacation. We break into them and then we steal booze if there's booze. And I'm like, you know what? I'm like, that's pretty like teenager behavior. But at the same time, I'm like, that's still really weird. And also, where are your parents where they're just letting you just like wander the night, breaking into trailers? Yeah, I honestly think there might be a result of short form media called Call Me a Hater, but I feel it made me less tolerant. Honestly, like, there's some stuff where I'm like, that stuff is such a minority, though. Like, you know when people are like, oh, man, like, I had this conversation with a friend the other day, and they were like, yo, I'm like, how come there's so many of these Reddit stories of, like, just, like, women and dudes just trying to upgrade? It's so scuzzy, and it's just like, yo, I'm like... And you know, like, the whole, like, oh my gosh, the women pulled a man, and she's like, you know what? I'm dumping you because I can upgrade to a guy with more money. And I'm like, ugh. I'm like, that's so crappy that people act like that. And my friend was like, yo, I mean, he's like, honestly, he's like, the chances of you running into somebody like that is so small because there's such a small minority of, like, women and men, like, doing the whole, like, relationship upgrade crap. So it's like, statistically, like, you would catch them immediately and then you would just dump them before they could even dump you, or like you would never even get in the relationship to begin with. And I'm like, you know what, you're right. I'm like, that's just like one of those things where it's like, it's a negative thought, and it's one of those things that would never happen. If it does happen, you know the warning signs and you can just bow. Where honestly, I think that forum you're talking about, Tut, to where it's like, it's such a small minority of like, make me a hater, to where I think it's just like negative stuff just pumped out. And it's just the minority. It's not the majority of people doing those things or thinking those things. It's just a very small minority, but it's all focused into one spot, so it seems like the majority. You know, like when everyone was trying to tell us Kamala Harris, like, did stuff before she ran for president, and everyone was trying to gaslight, and they were like, oh man, she did like all those great things, but no one can list like any of her policies as a senator or something, or whatever she was, or a congressperson. Like, no one could talk anything about her political career in the last 20 years. And it was just like one of those things where I'm like, yo, I'm like, this is just like crazy bias, and it's a crazy minority, and that's what it is. But relationship upgrade is stupid, and I'm going out with a girl I'm in it for a long time. Yeah, that's good for you. Honestly, you like what you like. You can be as vain as you want, or you can be as like very like, yo, I want to be with somebody that's like there emotionally, yo, or it's like my one friend that's like, yo, I want to be with someone that's like hot as hell, and I'm like, yo, bro, I'm like, honestly, I wish you luck, and I hope you find that person. But people like different things, and people look for different things in relationships, and that's perfectly okay. And I feel like I've seen like enough relationships fail for a lifetime. Honest to God, like I'm not gonna get into the whole like drama and like trauma dumping crap because no one likes trauma dumping crap. You know, that was like one of those issues that happened early on when I streamed a lot was the few people that would drop by to be like, I do my little thing and be like, yo, hello, I'm no one. Thank you so much for stopping by. It means a lot to me that you'd stop by today and just check me out for like a few minutes. And I appreciate your time. And it's like, yo, I just want this stream to be like, you can talk about anything. And then the first thing they talk about is how they were like abused or like there's somebody cheated on them. And I'm like, bro, I'm like, I had to make a rule where I'm like, you can't trauma dump. Like as soon as somebody says like, yo, my parents were brutally murdered in an alleyway like Batman, I'm like, yo, stop. You're not Batman. You can't trauma dump here like that. And I looked into other streamers and a ton of other like popular streamers. That's their rule too, where the moderators are like, yo, anyone just like trauma dumping like that. And they're like, yo, I grew up in a room tied to a radiator and I only ate cake mix to survive. That's just like flagged and they're just booted. Yeah, I remember some of them too. Yeah, some of them were like, and I didn't know at the time how to really deal with them, but now I'm like, yo, I don't give a crap. I'm like, I'm timing them out immediately. I ain't dealing with that crap. Only good vibes here. No drama, no trauma. We just having a good time, either slaying or it's me having a bad time playing a Souls-like or playing a horror game and I'm screaming my head off and I'm also bashing my legs underneath my desk because I'm jumping so far out of my chair. You know what? If you want to leave, get out of here. No one wants you here. I want to farm some more of these losers. Host migration. Of course he was the host. Why wouldn't he be the host? Batman, random person, no one's chat. Well, I don't want to say like some like super duper realistic scenario of someone like going through trauma. But it's like somebody coming in here and they're giving me like their backstory, like they're Batman, and they're like, my parents were killed in an alleyway, and now I will never touch another gun, and I'll never trust another human being, and this and that and the other thing. How was your day? Yo, my HS life was very smooth. I don't know what HS stands for, but yeah, I really don't know what it stands for. I'm trying to figure it out. I thought maybe halfway through that sentence, my brain would click and be like, HS, HS, HS. Nope, I don't get it.
The spores have almost completely saturated the atmosphere.
Ah,
You need to get out of
apparently I'm suffocating. Okay, let's attempt to not be suffocating now.
Life support has been replenished.
All right, let's do that. So what I like about most about this Warframe, I'm just gonna go over how he works real quick, is he slings status effects such as burns, toxic, radiation, cold, electricity, everything. And all my guns are kitted to spread maximum just status effects across all enemies. And my gun and my fourth ability, which is just that big old AoE crap that I do, the more status effects that's on an enemy, the more damage it does. That's entirely how this guy works. Basically, you just want status effects upon status effects upon status effects, and you do more damage with more status effects. And you just want to be spreading maximum plague and pestilence across the enemy's ranks constantly. And that's just how this guy works, and I love him, and he's just made to just be one big alchemist plague doctor menace to society. I was raised in a white room. My parents were killed. I was raised by my uncle, and now I'm Spider-Man. This status build sounds crazy fun. It is crazy fun. And the best part is and if you've never played Warframe, there's supposed to be a little gauge underneath my little wait, let me see if I can point it out. Like bottom corner, like those 4 little icons you see that I'm like kind of scrolling. Oh,
Another
well,
job well
there's supposed to be a
completed.
bar there that says energy, but Lavos is different to where he runs off cooldowns. And he's the only frame in the game that runs off cooldowns that's not energies. And it has its pros and cons. Pros, anything that would drain my energy or stop me from using an ability, such as lack of energy, can't stop me. Cons, a lot of the mods, a lot of my setup is built towards replenishing energy. So I can't use that. And also, it's cooldown, so I can't spam non-stop. Like if I did have a abundance of energy, like on other frames. Never played Warframe, and I'm honestly not planning to ever try it, though. Yeah, that's fair. Warframe's one of those games where it's like, there's math involved sometimes, but most people just look up a meta build instead of doing the math. But I feel like it's so worthwhile to do the math, and I like doing the math, and I like doing the mindless grind and killing, and the wacky weapons and the frames, and I like the whole process of Warframe. So it's like, it takes time, but it's kind of like, yo, I get to turn my brain off, I get to log on, I get to do dailies. The FOMO is minimal. The trade chat, if there's something I need and I just not getting lucky with my trades in any way, shape, or form, such as, I don't know, let's say there's this one part of a gun, like a receiver I need or a barrel. I could go to the trade chat and I'll be like, yo, I will trade this barrel for that barrel, and there's even like a third party like player market that somebody set up, and it's like super official. Like no one gets scammed there. Everyone just goes in, they trade, stuff happens, and it's so freaking nice. And you can find whatever you need on that market because there's so many players playing Warframe, and it's now crossplay, and it wasn't crossplay for so many years. And it's crazy nice. Just being able to be a part of the game. Like if you ever played a Roblox game with like trading in it, or any other game with trading in it, the in-game economy is like in shambles, but Warframe's economy is not in shambles, and it's honestly such a luxury that I never knew existed. And I'm not gonna be that guy that's gonna try and talk into playing Warframe. Not at all. Warframe is not for everybody. 100%. Warframe is grindy as hell. And it's one of those games where it's like, you gotta lock in occasionally to just get the stuff that you want. No, I don't like Roblox. I only played it in like 3 times. I played Roblox when I first got a computer only because I tried playing actual games and my fingers were like, what the hell's a keyboard? And I couldn't like get all this stuff. So I was like, what's a game that's so easy children could do it? And I'm like, yo, Roblox. And it was just like one of those things where I'm like, all right, let's just find like a grindy game on a Roblox and just practice my keyboard controls, because playing an actual game was so absolutely frustrating to me, to where I was like, I see the guy, I want to shoot the guy, I can't turn left, why can't I make my guy go left? Because I played with controllers for so many years, I couldn't like get my fingers to learn mouse and keyboard. But now my fingers, oh man, like, they are dexterous. I got that dexterity stat maxed out in my hands for my keyboard. Still rarely play on keyboard. I'm a controller player. That's fair. There's some games I like playing on controller too. Like Warframe, I like playing on controller because I played it for so many years on controller, and there's so many of like the parkour system like this and like wall latching to where it's so much easier on controller. And it would legit break my hands because Warframe is a game to where it's like, yo, you go into an hour-long survival and it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. So having a controller is so less burdensome on your hands. Bro's maxed out dex, and yes, I'm doing backflips and stuff. I'm like a gymnast. People see me just flipping through the halls like I'm Spider-Man. If you're wondering what like stat would be like acrobatics in reality, it would be dexterity. Dexterity would be like hand-eye coordination, doing backflips, how well you manage like flexibility and all that stuff in your body. That's dexterity. Gonna be at the Olympics soon, right? Yeah, I'm gonna web sling in there, and then I'm gonna go to the shot put. I'm gonna throw that shot put like it's a curveball in a Major League Baseball game and break some world records real quick. You wouldn't believe. You know, I just tried something out. So there's a status effect in Warframe called gas. And if you inflict it on an enemy, and if you kill an enemy on it, it'll leave a little poison cloud where they were. And Lavos is the only frame that can use and imbue all the elements into his abilities. Like, there's like the fire Warframe, and then there's like the ice Warframe. And then there's Lavos, the alchemist, that literally can like mix and match elements. Like, I can fire, and then I can toxic. So toxic, electricity, corrosive. I can start melting their armor or like their damage reduction stat on enemies if they have it. And I just imbued that into my 4th AoE ability, and I just spread that proc to everything. Which is another reason I like to play Lavos, and when I'm streaming Warframe, I think it's just going to be me playing Lavos. The loot 4 boxes better be worth the farm. Honestly, loot boxes is just gambling half the time. I'm trying to think of the right words. Words are escaping me at this moment in time, unfortunately. Which I have been talking for an hour straight. Oh my god. I don't think I've taken a breather from talking. But that's my ideal stream, to where I'm like, yo, I want to stream for 3 hours and talk non-stop the entire 3 hours.
Reinforcements available.
Yo, let's
Do you
keep
choose to
going.
leave
Let's
now
double down.
Or continue fighting? Keep fighting. Another opportunity to extract will appear soon.
I will also point this out too. In Warframe, if you lose a mission, all that loot you got on that mission is forfeit. So like, if our objective dies and it's like mission failed, oh well, you just lost all that like hour and a half. I did a defense. I made it up to like wave, whatchamacallit, like 95. We're at 98. The game, we got screwed with RNG and we got wiped. And I was like, oh my god, that was like, all the enemies were level like 180. We did that for an hour and a half and we lost everything, and it hurt my soul. I told my brother about it, and he was like, bro, you absolutely got screwed over. You should have extracted at like wave 80. Like, the fact that you even made it to 80 was like a godsend. Yo, 5 more subscribers. So true, Gummy. Also, hello and welcome, Gummy. Don't be shy. If you want to talk about anything or everything, I'm okay with it. Movies, entertainment, Warframe, other games. That funny thing that the Russians did to where they just bombed Ukraine, apparently. I don't know much about it. Not Ukraine. They already bombed Ukraine. They bombed Chernobyl, apparently, today on Valentine's Day. And everyone's like, nuclear fallout, guys. Get ready to get your bottle caps. It's one of those things, so it's easier for me to say the name that's written on YouTube, such as Gummy, because if I try remembering everyone's name, and it's not like I have 200 people, but remembering the people that come and go is a lot easier for me to just say their name, unless they're here, like, for 3 hours, like, every day. But I do try and make a point to try and remember everyone's name if they wish to be called something else. But it's one of those things where I'm like, I would like you to also understand that there are a bunch of people coming and going occasionally. And names do get a little funny. Where... These guys are wiping these guys so quick that I'm not really having much of an opportunity to really murder, which is kind of nice, honestly. You know what's funny? When I made this gun, the Seto, or got it, I thought it was like a normal shotgun where it's like you fire it, and then you wait a second and then you fire another round of buckshot. I didn't realize the shotgun is a fully automatic gun that has a 40-round clip and just a grenade launcher attached to it. Like, look at this. Grenade launcher attached right onto the underbarrel. Freaking nuts.
For the Lotus.
I'd rather stay for like 78 centuries. That's a lot of centuries. That's a lot of years. You know, I always get decades and centuries confused. Don't ask me how, but I always do. Some way, somehow, I find a way. With my stupidity. Yo, you want to hear something weird? And I tell my friends this, and they don't understand it, and I don't understand it either. Is that I understand how months work, but for some reason, my brain can't remember the order the months go in. Like, there's some months where I'm like, oh, it's easy, you know, October, November, December. And then it's just like, oh, I know that one. It's like January, February, and I'm like, that makes sense. But there's like some points where it's like, you know, when someone says a month and you're like, oh yeah, that's the 7th month of the year. I can't figure that out. I need a calendar. I need a calendar 10 out of 10 times. Or when people are like, yo, did you know this is next month? And I'm like, yo, that's next month, that month. And it's like, yeah, it's been that way for the past 100 years. I don't comprehend it. And I don't know why I don't comprehend it. And I've tried multiple times to learn it. And I can remember way more complex stuff than the stupid months. But for some reason, my brain does not comprehend the concepts of months and their order in which they come in. And it's the weirdest thing. And I don't know why. Like, biology, chemistry, I'm like, I got that down. Algebra, I got that. Managing multiple relationships and other stuff like that, I got that. But months, they elude me. They elude me so hard. And it bothers me. It bothers me so much. Am I doing damage to these guys? I don't feel like I am. I'm gonna extract on this wave because this guy's starting to take some damage, and I don't think we have the dream team of the wiping squad that I think I need. Oh, that's on cooldown.
Your
Dang.
potential blossoms. Continue the arbitration.
But this is like one of those things I'm like, I just feel like I just want to talk about real quick.
Unless you can handle more of the enemy.
I'm gonna dip. Like, these guys can stay. A lot of people were like, oh man, I want to stay and like go for longer. And I'm like, no, I'm not equipped to stay for longer. And also the defense missions in Warframe to where you have to watch a person versus watching a stationary object are so much harder because the person loves to wander around and get shot in the head. I swear to God, they literally, it's like trying to watch somebody that wants to die. That's how the NPC acts sometimes, and it's absolutely nuts. And you lose the mission, and when you lose the mission, you lose all your drops. And it's absolutely annoying, so I want to leave early on defense missions if they have, like, a person we're defending versus a object. Or, like, some type of, like, future cryopod situation. I'm gonna let my cat out of my room real quick. You wanna go outside? You need... outside. New topic I just thought about. Alright, so everyone knows The Walking Dead, everyone's favorite zombie show. I watched The Walking Dead, but it was one of those shows to where I'm like, this could be fun. You know how like everyone glazes Breaking Bad. Don't get me wrong, Breaking Bad is good, but I feel like it's glazed, it's overhyped. It's just like it's good, but it's not that good to where everyone's like, oh my gosh, it's like the best piece of like anything ever made ever. Which I don't think it is. But anyways, The Walking Dead. I like zombies. I like horror movies. I like everything about zombies. I like playing games with zombies and slaying hordes of zombies. It's fun. It's awesome. It never stops being fun. And I love everything about The Walking Dead and their concepts. But like by like season 3, they start beefing with other people and they just view zombies as more of just like an obstacle or like a nuisance. And I'm like, the threat the zombies pose just like disappeared in the series. And I was like, yeah, I'm kind of out if they're just going to turn this into one big like people, politics, survival situation type of shenanigans. All right, I need to hit that ability to heal up. I'm getting messed up. But I just found out today that there exists a show that's in the Walking Dead universe, but it's before, because the Walking Dead takes place when the zombies are already, like, well established. Like, all infrastructure is failed, military's dead, cops are gone, people are on their own in the zombie apocalypse, and that's where, like, the show takes off. But they made another show, and it's like a before the zombies like took over the world and people had to deal with it, to where it's like, yo, it's just starting, or it's like, yo, they're just hearing about this pathogen or bacteria thing that's maybe making zombies, or like it's some type of like disease the CDC's dealing with at that moment in time. And I'm like, that's infinitely more interesting to me than a bunch of people just having their weird post-apocalyptic politics. And I'm like, that is so freaking cool. And I'm like, I started watching it. Well, I shouldn't say I started watching it. I turned on the TV to attempt to watch it, and then I walked away, and then I fell asleep. And that's what I did today. And I was late to stream because of it. But you know what? We all make mistakes. And it was just one of those things where I was like, that is... It's so much infinitely more interesting to me as a story. Everyone having to cope and deal with zombies, and then being like, wow, your loved ones are no longer your loved ones. You got to start chopping heads off. You gotta survive. You gotta start hoarding materials, rations, foods, get a bunker, do something.
Here is a terminal. Get me in and get ready to defend.
But I'm not sure if you guys feel the same way, or if you guys are like casual horror enjoyers, to where you guys just like horror movies in general. Even the bad ones. Oh my gosh, the bad ones are so nuts. You know what I like? The first Freddy Krueger movie, like Nightmare on Elm Street, it has the what's his face? Oh my god, Johnny Depp's in it, and it has Morpheus, Jeffrey Fishburne's in it. And I'm like, that's nuts that they have just like 2 huge stars in like this old, what should have been a B movie. Like the grading the movie should have gotten was a B, because it was just kind of like, the effects are lame now and it's just kind of goofy. I mean, like, it's a classic and it's still goofy, but I love that it's goofy now. Like, it's no longer scary, it's just goofy. And I don't like horror movies, TBH, and that's okay. There's some horror movies like slashers that are less scary, and I'm going to teach you a trick to watch every horror movie and not be scared right now. You just talk during the movie. It's so hard to be scared during a horror movie when they're trying to build suspense if you're just having a random side conversation. It works every time. The moment something gets scary, open your mouth and say something, and it takes all the fear away immediately. Like, obviously, you need to be watching it at someone to have that situation, or else you're just a crazy person talking to yourself in a room, like I am right now.
I'm in, Tenno.
But,
This will take a moment. Location
yeah,
reached.
just don't want to be scared during a horror movie? Open your mouth. Say words. Immediately, all the fear disappears. All the suspense the movie was building, gone. Look at this. Freaking nutbag just coming out of the woodwork. You know what I like that Warframe does? This concept of this boss that spawns randomly and he's just the stalker. And over the years, they've absolutely rolled me. Oh my god.
Still working on it. Continue to defend.
Come on, just die already. Alright, let's make some nice little radiation trail to block that off. I like irradiating enemies because if you nuke them with radiation, if the proc goes off, it confuses enemies and they start fighting each other. Which is always nice. Not having to deal with enemies just breathing down your neck because they all went crazy with radiation poisoning. Wait, is that? Oh my gosh, it's up there. I missed my stairs. Up the stairs. But yeah, I like horror movies. That's my hack for not being scared during horror movies, because I got my thought process interrupted because of whatchamacallits. In-game death. But Freddy vs. Jason was funny. Yeah, a lot of the old movies are just funny. They are just a laugh riot. It's just boring to me. Oh, yeah, that too. Some horror movies, like, sometimes they're only good for one watch, and then after that, they're just boring. All right, host migration. Yeah, get on my game. Well, suck. I like how the mentality for every Warframe player that's like, do a mission. All right, we did the mission. Everyone leave. Because every squad disbands as soon as the mission's over. But you guys have anything you guys want to talk about? I mean, like, feel free to jump in anytime when I'm just talking about anything. You know, if you're like, you know what? Let's talk about Fallout 4. Let's talk about, I don't know, the new Deadpool movie. Let's talk about the terms and services on Disney Plus and how if you somehow think Disney has wronged you because of Disney Plus's terms of service, you can no longer sue Disney because you are a Disney Plus subscriber because it's in their terms of service. I forget what it was, but there was this like recent, or I think it was a recent court case to where Disney was getting sued for something, like somebody got hurt in their park and the person was like, I want some compensation because the medical bill is going to be big or something. I'm not too I don't remember the details too vividly, but basically the gist is somebody got hurt in Disney World or Disney Park, and they wanted compensation, and Disney's like, nuh-uh, you're a Disney Plus subscriber, and in the terms of service of Disney Plus, you're not allowed to sue us. And it was like, wait a second. And it was one of those things where it was like a really like nitpicky thing to do with the way that was worded, but it worked. And they got out of it, and I'm like, wow. I'm like, so if you own Disney Plus and you try suing Disney, it's not gonna work in any way, shape, or form. Disney's just gonna go, nope. You can't sue us. We're gonna sue you. And it's like, wait, what? and then Disney starts suing you.
The enemy is broken.
I thought-
Well done.
Oh,
Now
I gotta
to
get down
extraction.
there. That's busted. I hate this tile set. No one likes this tile set of the busted ship. I honestly hope they get rid of this tile set to where it's a crashed spaceship. Oh, now this door opens. This door didn't want to open before. Yo, I don't know, we cancel out Disney Plus subscription, but they were like bumping up the places. We were watching Star Wars short show. And then the oh yeah, the Acolyte shocked us. Yeah, the Acolyte, it's one of those shows where I'm like, I feel like a lot of people are crapping on it, but at the same time, I'm like, the Acolyte, I don't want to say is objectively like bad in some sense, because I haven't watched it, so I don't want to judge it too harshly. But the Acolyte is one of those shows where they kind of retcon a few things, and I don't really appreciate it. Like, they had very well established lore in the Star Wars universe, and then they were like, yo, guess what? There's just like a coven of witches just popping out for sensitive kids. Just because they're witches. And don't get me wrong, Jedis are just space wizards. So, like, a bunch of witches, that's fine. I mean, like, that's still in the realm of Star Wars for me. But the fact that they're able to, like, make people that are force sensitive, I'm like, okay, that's, like, getting a bit too much for me. Because the whole point is, like, to be born with the aptitude for the Force and have, like, the whole midichlorians and all that junk. And I'm like, that makes sense. They have a sci-fi reason, and they have, like, a religious, spiritual reason beyond that, too, which is kind of cool. But also, yes, hello, Bobby, and happy Valentine's Day. Sorry for the late hello. I just had to finish up that thought, but yeah, that ruined Anakin being, like, the Jesus of Star Wars. It really did. I remember that was, like, the #1, like, complaint, and then there was a lot of people just screaming woke. Which is fine. I don't mind having a diverse cast of characters. I just hate when the cast of characters is a show that's based off a comic book that was written in the 40s by a bunch of white dudes, so everybody's white in the show, and then they start, like, making everyone not white, and it's kind of, like, important to some of the plot points for them to be white.
Doing everything wrong.
Learning how to live.
Like, imagine if they made a movie and they race swapped one of the people to white, and it's a movie about racism and about overcoming diversity in the times of segregation, but it's a white dude. And it's like, it kind of loses some of its punch there. Being a white dude fighting diversity during segregation. Doesn't it? And I don't like it when they do diverse picks or racial diversity like that to where it impacts the story. Beyond that, I'm like, if they're a great actor and they nail the role, and I've seen a bunch of people like swap roles, and it's like, yo, that character was originally like, I don't know, like this color, and then they changed it to that color, and they knocked it out of the park. They just did a really good job. But at some points, I was like, okay, I'm like, this is like a DC comic or like a Marvel comic, and they kind of gotta be like, kind of white for this part. But anyways, that's just my quick opinion on just the whole race swapping thing. If it impacts the story, it's a no-go for me. If it doesn't impact the story, they do an awesome job. It's a plus, and it's amazing, and I love it. Not that I'm like being like, oh man, we should race swap everyone to find like, but I mean like, you get the best person for the best job. Like, if you're in an airplane, you don't care what color the pilot is. You want the pilot to be the best pilot he is. Because you don't want to die. You want your firefighters to be the best and most qualified person. You don't care what color they are. And that's my view on that. Short and sweet. And they should make... You know what? They've actually been doing that, Tut. So, I know you said you canceled your Disney Plus, but the new Spider-Man show that they put out on Disney Plus, they established that it's in a different universe. Like, it's Peter Parker at the beginning, and a lot of his, like, the cast has been race swapped, but the show starts off with Doctor Strange fighting a symbiote through a portal, and a spider coming through the portal and biting Peter Parker and giving him his superpowers. And I'm like, okay, we're already starting with an interdimensional spider giving Peter Parker his powers in this one. So it's not Universe 616 for Spider-Man. It's an offshoot reality. Like a different, like, instance in the multiverse altogether for this Spider-Man. And it's one of those things, so they re-swapped a lot of characters. Like, the lizard, Dr. Connors, is like an African-American lady. Harry Osborn and his son, the guys that are supposed to be the goblins, they're African-American too. Some other people too, a part of the cast, they got swapped around. Gender swaps and all that other junk. You know, just like Into the Spider-Verse. Like, no one was complaining Into the Spider-Verse when they made Dr. Octavius a woman. No, that was Into the Spider-Verse. It was a different instance. And there was drama before the show dropped too, to where the main voice actor for Spider-Man said, I hope this show doesn't crash because they made it too woke, like, the day before it releases. And I was like, oh my god. I'm like, I can't believe you would say that about your own series, like 24 hours right before it's about to drop, because that's not a good sign at all. That's like right before you get in a plane and you're about to take off and your pilot was like, yeah, yesterday was the Super Bowl and I drank a lot, so I hope I fly straight. Well, have a pleasant flight. It's like, whoa, bro, what did you just say? That was like red flags all the way. Oh yeah, it's definitely worth a watch. The new Spider-Man, it's 100% they flipped the script, but it's flipped in all the right ways, and it doesn't come off as being like so heavy-handed and them trying to be woke. They're literally just telling the best story they can. And I love that because, like I've been saying for the past like 15 minutes, I'm like, I don't care what color they are. If they're telling the best story they can and they're executing it stupendously, I do not care. I do not care. And if you do care, you might be racist. But I don't think it's racist if they, like, race swap a character and it's like I said, like a white dude overcoming segregation. It's like, it's kind of important for the person that's overcoming segregation or, you know, racial stuff like that to, you know, not be a white dude in America, because white dudes in America got the power for a ton of years. But everything's more even Steven now, I think. But then again, that's just like an opinion, and everything's always just like such a hot topic about that stuff, and I don't want to talk about that stuff. I want to talk about Spider-Man. Wait, do I have a Spider-Man button?
Counting stars, operator. All accounted for.
Man, I want to make a button, because I always feel like I talk about Spider-Man sometimes, and I want a button on my soundboard that's just like, I want pictures of Spider-Man. It's just Jay Jonah screaming about how he wants pictures of Spider-Man. God, I love Spider-Man so much. Yeah, they really do. Like, Snow White's ruined because of diversity. I love everything about animation. Like, I'm not an animator or anything, but I like watching tutorials on how to animate and the history of, like, animation and, like, all the stuff Walt Disney did for the art form of animation. In which case, if you didn't know, Walt Disney did a lot for the art form of animation. And he definitely contributed to it. and it's absolutely amazing what he did. But basically, if I had to sum up what he did, he just basically made a few new rules about animation, or like he pushed the boundaries of animation more than made new rules. Actually, he pushed the boundaries. That's more of what he did versus making up new concepts. Where do I want to go now? I'm leveled up. I need to get some new materials now. I think I want to go to Lua, and I want to get some relics while I wait for the next event to spawn. Yo, I took a film study class senior year of high school, and we analyzed Snow White, and it's an art form, and just how impactful it was. Oh yeah, if you don't know, Snow White was like the first movie that Walt Disney made, like full animation movie. Like before Snow White, like movies were not animated. They weren't. They were done by people because animation was so expensive, and it was just a thing for cartoons and just goofy bits and nothing else. And there was actually a point when they were making Snow White where Walt Disney's ran out of money, and he went to the bank for a loan, and he had like 10-20 minutes of Snow White available for them. And so he brought the people from the bank to his studio to watch the 10-20 minutes he had for Snow White. And when they watched the movie, they literally said to Walt, and they're like, "You have something special here, like honest to God, we will write you a blank check for this movie," because they knew it was gonna do so incredibly well. Because that's how good Snow White was and how huge Snow White was. And Snow White was the first film that made Walt Disney or Disney Studios a buttload of money, which made it the empire an absolute juggernaut that it is now. And it saddens me to my very core that they're crapping all over it with Rachel Zegler. She is like the most ungrateful, like Disney's treating her like a princess, and they didn't need to drop her like a bad habit. Honest to God. I've never seen an actor that needs to be dropped like a bad habit until DC did The Flash. Like, that actor too needed to be dropped like a bad habit. But, yeah, she's just horrible. She's like borderline racist and just like ungrateful and just like so demanding in like every way, shape, or form. And her movie isn't even out yet. And beyond just Rachel Zegler with the new Snow White movie live action, which I thought got canceled, and it should have been canceled till they realized they wanted actual little people to play the dwarves, because that's huge. You know how much money a little person who wants to be an actor could make off a Disney movie playing a dwarf? And there's not a lot of roles for little people in acting, believe it or not. And the little people who are actors are absolutely amazing. Like, if you want to talk about like overcoming adversity, like look at little people that act or they're in the entertainment district, like not district, but entertainment industry. They have to overcome so much constantly, and they are absolutely an inspirational. Like Peter Dinklage, one of my favorite actors. Like when I went to go see Infinity Wars in theaters, and I got to see him, and I watched it like day one, and I saw him in the movie, and he was one of the dwarves, and he was just huge, and he helped Thor make Stormbreaker. In Infinity Wars, I like jumped out of my chair with joy. I was like, hell yeah, that's my boy, the Deke Machine. I have like, I watched Game of Thrones, and I just came up with like a dozen like funny nicknames for Peter Dinklage because there was a lot of talking scenes. And in my head, I just went through all the nicknames for Peter Dinklage, and I was like, yo, that's my guy right there. In Infinity Wars, helping out the God of Thunder. Just Oh my god, I loved it so much. And everyone always like remembers little people in the roles of like when they're playing actual little people. But I'm like, yo, I'm like, that was a role that wasn't just about being like, there was more to it. Even though it was a side role, it was amazing to see him in it. And I loved every second of it. And I hope I'm doing a good job of explaining the way I feel about it. And the joy it brings me. But back to Snow White, yeah, they made the 7 mystical beings instead of the 7 dwarves. And the beauty of Snow White is that the dwarves were all named after like emotions or like little funny little gimmicks, like grumpy, happy, dopey, and now they're the 7 mystical beings and they're just like CGI dudes or something. And I'm like, no. I'm like, give me the dwarves singing hi-ho all the way from the home from the mines, and they love living their life in the forest, and they just find a lady just chilling in their home, and they're like, hey, we should just be nice to her. Come on. That's what I want. Not this Zegler. Oh, hate it so much. I could talk so long about my hate for that new live-action Snow White, but I think I've established how much I hate it already, so I'm gonna move on. But yeah, for real, I didn't pay attention to Snow White live-action for a while. It was a dumpster fire. It should be canceled, and it hasn't been canceled, and it should be canceled. Like, I'm not one to be like, cancel culture or any of that junk, because I think cancel culture is just, like, bad and wrong. Because I feel like that just kind of neuters a lot of creative projects that are like still in the works, just trying to cancel stuff before it's even ready or like out to the world. You know, it's kind of like you put the project out there and it's just like dead on arrival. And I'm like, that's not okay at all. Let's go on the offensive. And I don't appreciate it at all. And I think it just kind of kills some creativity, or it kills some motivation to be creative. And, but this Snow White film, if there was ever a thing that needed to be canceled, it's this Snow White film. Yeah, I low-key thought it was canceled too, because there was like all the stuff about, Snow White, there was like radio silence and all that stuff, and then suddenly it was just like, Disney's like, we're gonna work on some stuff after some public feedback. And it was one of those things where they didn't talk about it for a while, and then they just sneakily just dropped a trailer on YouTube, which they messed up because they left the comments on, and they should not have. Those comments for Snow White trailer were so absolutely savage. There was like one dude that's like, yo, I could probably have, if I had to watch this movie, I would sit on my TV and watch my couch. That's how I would watch the movie, because it would be infinitely more better. Next verse, same as a first. Or it's like stuff like that. Nah, you know what's gonna happen? The Rotten Tomato critics rating's gonna be really high because the user rating's hella low. Disney's just gonna pay for people to give it a good review. Like, the amount of things Disney's done for Rachel Zegler's stupid. Like, there was, I think it was like the Emmys or something, and she didn't get invited, and she's like, she took to like Facebook or Twitter or something. She's like, just me in my room because I didn't get invited to the Emmys. And Disney's like, oh no. And they came in and they gave her an invitation. And not only an invitation, I think they let her host one of the Emmys. And Disney just made that happen just because she made a post of being slightly sad because she got casted as Snow White. And they got to take care of Snow White. And I'm like, yo, I'm like, I like the mentality, but wrong person. Wrong person that does not deserve this VIP treatment of like getting into one of the most exclusive awards in the world for acting. But Sundrop, hello and welcome. Yo, it's me, Scary Moon Man. I'm gonna give you nightmares. Okay, I'm prepared to receive the nightmare. How long will it be till I receive the nightmare? And give me it in business days, because I only work in business days. The weekends are mine, all right? Those, I don't dream on the weekend. That's just, I sleep and then I wake up. No dreams. You're gonna have to hit me between Monday through Friday for the nightmare. And I hope that's okay with you. But yeah, just, oh my gosh. The rage Snow White fills me with. Not even rage, just the disappointment. It's worse than rage. You know what's another thing that's coming out this year, and I forgot it was coming out, was Borderlands 4. A lot of people forgot Borderlands 4 was dropping this year, I think, because it was funny. The Borderlands movie dropped, and it bombed, and then Gearbox was like, oh no, it bombed. What do we do? People are hating on Borderlands, and they're like, I know. We should announce Borderlands 4. And they're like, great idea. And then they announced Borderlands 4, like, crazy prematurely to make fans be like, whoo, Borderlands 4. And at this point, I love Borderlands as a series, but there's some points in Borderlands where I'm like, Borderlands 3 sucked in some ways, as in the post-game sucked. As in, like, Borderlands 2 had a mechanic to where you could infinitely make the number go up. I mean, like, the number would go up by, like, decimal points at one point because of diminishing returns, but it would never hit 0. But in Borderlands 3, the post-progression system, like their badass rank or guardian system, they called it in that game, had a point to where it capped out, and I'm like, that's so stupid that they capped the players. And they did that in Tiny Tina's Wonderland too, to where they put a cap on the players. And I'm like, that's so stupid. I'm like, in a game with like number that almost infinitely go up, you cap the players end game stuff. So if I spend 500 hours trying to get that extra 5% in attack speed, I should get that extra 5% in attack speed. I should.
Interference routines, demo units too.
The frick's this demo unit? Get away from me, you. Aha! There you are. Oh, they got him. Man, this Volt's like on top of everything. Yo, have you seen the like to dislike ratio of the trailer? No, I'm pretty sure, I wouldn't be surprised if they turned off that statistic, but I'm pretty sure it would be like thumbs down, and then it would be all the paid thumbs up. Like, the only way people would like that are the brain dead people who spend thousands of dollars on Disney loot a year. You know, like the Disney adults that are like so brain dead to where Disney could do no wrong. What is up with this enemy? He's like jumping up and down. He jumped from here all the way to up there, and I've never seen an enemy jump that high in my life in this game. But yeah, wait until you're a student, right? If so, your school uses a forum of online proctoring services. Online proctoring services? Okay, so he's already did that one. I should probably take this key to this other one, and yeah, it's just me and this other Volt that's like absolutely amazing. Oh. I ran the wrong freaking direction. I ran towards a key. Wait, there it is.
Incoming routine. How's that feel?
Get that guy out of there. I think this man's over here. Ish. Nope. I went the wrong way.
Or Allied call you lot betrayers anyway.
Alright, let's get the frick out of here. Yo, online proctoring is like the programs which you can track what your computer does and like or your screen. Oh, that's what it is. And I'm just curious to hear your opinion on it. Oh, you mean like when you're in school and then, oh my god, I had this one friend and he'd always play games online and in the computer lab, and our school had like a big thing to where it was like, yo, you can't play games on the computer. The computers are for research and writing papers and, you know, PowerPoints and educational purposes, not for you to play those Flash games. Or those free games that are just like Flappy Bird or like any game that's just like brain dead. It's like cookie clicker. They block all of those in our school, and it would be him. And then if you were in the computer lab apparently with him, the teacher always knew what he was doing. So she'd always just go in there and then she'd just close out all his games. And then it'd just be him just screaming. He'd just be like, God damn it. He was like, I was doing something. And I'm just like, I love that so much. When he talks about those stories about just him in the computer lab, it'll just be us, and it'll just be like, yeah, I went to the computer lab earlier, and she freaking found me playing games again. I'm like, why do you keep playing games in the computer lab? He's like, what else are you gonna use the computer for? I'm like, I don't know, Wikipedia, .govs, medical papers, writing your essay that you should be working on. He's like, nah, I want to play games. But I always find it funny. But like outside of school, when you don't need any of that like direct monitoring, I'm like, you should. There's not much use in it, and any other use of it, it's just kind of sketchy. Biden Ma. Biden Ball Z is a good spoof of using Gindama. I never seen Gindama or know what a Gindama is, but I know I played Risk of Rain the other day and I found a Biden mod. And I put Joe Biden in Risk of Rain, and I gave him a flamethrower, but the mod didn't run so well. So I only got to play with Joe Biden for like 4 minutes. But he did have a move, which was Biden Blast, and I missed the Biden Blast memes. Where it was Joe Biden, and it would just be like, Biden Blast! And it was just like all the AI voices of like Obama, Biden, and Trump. And oh my gosh, I missed those when it was like those three voices on the AI, and someone would write a script about them arguing over something stupid, like the best gun in Call of Duty, or like them playing Pokemon Showdown, and then they're just like trash talking each other like they're kids, and it's the funniest thing to me.
Do you
I could see why that's a thing, you know, spyware and all that stuff, and negatively educating education. Well, it's also one of those things where I'm like, yo, if the school owns the computer and they let you use the computer, and you're doing stuff on the computer you shouldn't do that doesn't involve school, they're gonna stop you. Just like how if you had a job and they gave you a laptop and they're like, this is only for work, and you start like using it for like other stuff besides work nonstop and even during work hours, I think that work has the right to just like shut it down and then be like, all right, disciplinary actions immediately. Ooh, I want to do this defense on Phobos. No, I want to do this exterminate. I mean, like, let's say hypothetically you had a personal computer, and hypothetically your professor made you install a program. Oh yeah, that's wrong. That's straight wrong. Has that happened? Because that's just straight wrong. Like, if I had like a college class that made me do that, or like my high school was like, yo, we gotta make you do that. Make me install spyware so they can make sure I'm doing everything right. Like if you're cheating, that's just straight wrong. Oh, I get it now, but like, oh yeah, because of during like all that COVID stuff, the online learning. Okay, that makes more sense now, though. Now I'm thinking about it. Make sure you're not cheating. But at the same time, I'm like, that's your own personal device. They should not be able to do that or force you to do that or be like, we're gonna foul you if you like don't do that. Come on, you stupid Grenier.
And strike. We have to win this.
You have broken
All right,
the ranks and they are on
I
guard.
need to change my
Another
element to
successful
fire
mission.
because these
End
guys,
extraction.
I think they burn good. Oh yeah, they burn good.
They fought well. Good dance, all.
Wait, it happened to me earlier this semester. I'm so sorry. I was like, part of my brain, like sometimes reading stuff, my brain craps out. Like I was looking at your message and then I was like, this doesn't make sense to me, and I just had to wait for my like brain to stop being illiterate. No, but like it happened to me, and that's why I'm salty and I'm writing a paper on it. Good for you, man. Good for you. Honestly, I hope you saved all you like wanted to save on your personal device. Like any of your important stuff to a drive, and then you factory reset that crap, and then you just reinstalled all your applications. Honest to God. Because that's what I would have done. I'd literally be like, I'd take all my like software, all my current projects I'm working on, I'd put it on a big drive, and then I just factory reset my PC, and then I'd be like, yup, let's see you try and do anything now. I just wiped my system. Ain't nothing left. Got factory standard. I mean, like, then I have to go through all the driver updates, which is annoying. Alright, so I wish to go to Sanctum in a something to go to one of these faction areas to start grinding out some faction stuff before the reset. I haven't done a driver update in a while. I think it's really important if it's a gaming stuff, like driver updates should be done bi-monthly, which means like every 2 months. One time I waited 6 months to do it, and I was like, you know what? I'm like, 6 months is too long. I've had a friend who didn't do it for a year, and then it was like, it kind of runs, but it didn't run good. And I'm like, you should have done it way sooner instead of waiting like a year to get it done.
Fine. Wait, lo tienes, my friend.
All right, this faction, I grinded out well earlier. Yo, Radig, hello and welcome. I like the Pokeball. Man, I gotta do more Pokemon in the future. I see that you have a Pokeball. I do want to know, like, what's your favorite games? Like, which generation's your favorite? I'm not gonna be that cringe guy that's gonna, not cringe, but like, I'm not gonna be that guy that forces you to pick only one of your favorite Pokemon. I want to know which generation's your favorite, because I like Gen 5 Pokemon. Gen 5 Pokemon slap. I don't know what it is about them, but a lot of them are just miscellaneous objects, and I just like their design, and I just enjoy them a ton. Yo, have you played any of the ROM hacks? I did try playing some of the ROM hacks, where it was like Pokemon radiation or like iridium or something, and then I tried another one where it was like one of the darker ones, and it was like it started off with like the cult of Darkrai, and they were like doing human sacrifice, and I was like, yeah, I'm not feeling this game. It was just like one of those things where I was like, I tried getting into it, but I was like, I just wasn't feeling it. I'm personally a Gen 4 because Cynthia and the story. Oh yeah, the games too. Gen 4 is so good. Cynthia's good. I like Gen 5 a lot because I also like the music. You know what I hate? 2010, Gen 5 comes out. Everybody hated it. Like, quite literally, everybody hated Gen 5. Everyone was like, because it came after Gen 4, and Gen 4 was so absolutely goated that when Gen 5 came out, it's like, you're not going to top Gen 4. Gen 4 is like peak nostalgia now, and it was like gameplay that was fun, and then at the end it spiked like no other with the Cynthia boss fight. Like, you can't top that. But Gen 5, I loved Gen 5. I liked the music, I liked how the map was laid out, I liked the starters, I liked the plot. I thought the plot was good. It was like a bro, and he was just like, yo, Pokemon should be free because they're just animals, and animals should just roam free. And the guy that's like, yo, I'm not, and he was like a bad guy that wasn't really a bad guy, if you get what I mean. But I like the story, I like the music about Gen 5 a ton too, but Gen 4, honestly, I'm like, you can't beat Gen 4. Gen 4 is like, overall stats, juggernaut. Were you gonna play Pokemon ROM hacks? You want me to send you some? No, I can get them on my own, I'm pretty sure. I had to do some randomizers in the past, but they weren't very well received when I did them at the time. So it was just one of those things to where I did Pokemon, and then my viewership just wasn't there yet. I'm still trying to find my viewer base. Not my viewer base, but like it's every content creator is trying to find their audience, and I'm still looking for mine. But I like Gen 4, and I tried Gen 5, and I fell in love with it immediately. Yeah, but what I was saying earlier was Gen 5, everybody, quite literally everybody, if I had a time machine, everybody like review bombed Gen 5 games, black and white. Everybody hated black and white. I was like one of the only kids that like liked black and white. And my one friend that was really into Pokemon, it's like, yeah, it didn't do so well, black and white. And I'm like, that's crazy. These games are so good. I'm like, they're so much fun. And now 10 years passed. So it was like 2020, 2019. And then suddenly everyone's like, oh my gosh, black and white was my favorite game. Oh my God. And it was like all the people. And it was like, 10 years or like 8 years was just enough time for black and white to become nostalgic for them. So they went from hating on it to like, oh my God, I love it. It's one of the older Pokemon games. It's so good. And I'm like, honestly, I'm like, the Pokemon players, and I know like a lot of players and a lot of player bases don't know what they want, honest to God. Everyone says they want one thing, and then when they get it, they're like, we don't want that thing, you know? And I hate it so much. It's very rare when a player base knows what they want, and they get what they want, and the developers give them what they want. But it's one of those things where I'm like, oh my God, like, it infuriates me to this day still. To where I'm like, I'm not trying to gatekeep. I love that everybody loves black and white as much as I do now. It's absolutely magical. And I wouldn't have it any other way. But at the same time, I'm like, it's a shame that these games couldn't got that love that they deserved when they came out, because I think they deserved it when it came out and not 8 years later. But also, it's better late than never, too. Get back here, you little loser. Stupid.
If I ever see that grimoire, I'm gonna bolt. You gotta understand.
on. Where'd that thing go? I think I lost it somehow. No, I killed it. Never mind. It's dead. Man, this is actually like, I did steal path, and normally you have people for this mission to help you out, and normally I wouldn't be struggling this hard, but like, oh my god, I haven't been able to read anything, and I apologize. But yeah, Gen 5 remakes, I just want both of them, and Black and White 2 remakes. I want those remakes too, so bad. And also, if they mess that up, it's over for Game Freak. I don't think it's over, but I know, have you seen what they're talking about? Like, I've seen some people get excited over like the leaks for the new Pokemon like X, to where I think it's the X and Y remakes they're working on right now, and people are like fangirling and fanboying over like, oh my god, X and Y is getting a remake. And I'm like, you know, it's kind of strange they're doing it, but I'm glad they're getting the remake. But it's one of those things where it's like it got leaked like way too soon, and now what's it called, those remakes are so far in the future to where it's like it's no point in talking about it because they're so distant future that we're not getting it anytime soon at all. And it boggles my mind sometimes when people get excited over games that aren't coming out for like another 3 years, like GTA 6. People have been excited for GTA 6 and talking about that for like 3 years now, since it got like released or like leaked that it's getting made. And everyone's like, oh man, GTA 6, GTA 6, GTA 6 online, GTA 6. And I'm like, honestly, and I had people like even like occasionally come into stream and they're like, yo, GTA 6 is going to be so peak. And I'm like, bro, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm like, that game, I'm going to be dead before that game comes out because of how long they're going to be taking. And they're like hyping it up in the chat, and I'm like, and I like when people are like enthusiastic about what they love, but also at the same time, I'm like, I hate being that guy and that bearer of bad news where I'm like, yo, you're not getting that anytime soon. Like, if you're looking at like a reasonable timetable for GTA 6, it ain't happening. And a lot of people are like, it's coming out this year, and it's like 100%, I'm calling it right now. GTA 6 is gonna get delayed because of something. Whether it's only the story and they release it and it's only story and nothing else, or they release it and it's buggy and the game just needed more time to just cook and develop and debug. Anyway, it turns out there was plans for like a sequel for X and Y, and even had ideas for the third X and Y games, and they scrapped it, which is why it was so tragic. Well, they're working on that now, and it's called X, and it's a new remake of X and Y, and it's with that, I forget the name of the Pokemon. Oh my gosh, it's gonna bug me now. All right, let me spread some radiation. More radiation out here. More radiation because these guys do not like getting nuked. I'm throwing all their butts in the microwave. Complete the bounty. What's the bounty? I'm out here fighting for my life. Oh, I forgot I have to. Okay, I'm gonna abort this mission. I forgot this bounty is finding a random enemy and killing it. And it's not an actual survival mission, which is stupid.
Let's put you to work.
Having one Pokemon game take place in only like one city seems kind of weird to me. Also, do you mean Legend ZA? Yeah, that's it. ZA. I thought it was X or something. Gosh, that's how long ago it was. My brain was confusing it for something else. I'm gonna go. I'll be back. I'm just popping in and out. Bye. Thank you for popping in and out, Godzilla. I know Warframe's not the most stimulating game, but it's a game I love, and it's a game that I do want to play more of, and hopefully I find some viewership in doing Warframe content, and this is why I've been like doing it a little bit more. versus other stuff. How much time do I have left before the boundary resets? Oh my god, I have a half an hour. My bad, I was just drinking a drink and just adjusting. Alright, let's catch up to my fellow Tenno.
But then you killed it.
You know what's cool about Warframe? They have their own convention. That's how huge Warframe is. It's just called TennoCon, and it's just a bunch of people getting together and just expressing their love for Warframe, and they have like costume contests and like all this amazing stuff for Warframe that I love. Where's this?
Go get him, friend.
All right, mix those two together. And spread some radiation around. You know, Lavos is one of those Warframes where he's got a little bit of that learning curve, but it's hard. Not hard. It's he feels really good once you get over the whole learning curve of him.
Guess that's all of them. Well,
That it? Just you just go down there and kill a dude and then extract. All right, let me reload.
Excellent. Your necromech is on the way. I wager you're due for some fun.
I know my brother was telling me there's this secret room back here, and this is just super cool back here. And oftentimes there's a little thing back here. Yes. Okay. All right, never mind. My fellow gamers are back here absolutely fighting for their lives. Never mind. They have fought for their lives and they have achieved victory all on their own. Also, I don't know what game you're playing, TBH, but I'm just chilling and vying and enjoying. Honestly, that is like my most ideal. I'm trying to like get to that point with this channel to where it's just people who just come by and they're like, yo, you know what? I just enjoy your company, no one, and your random ramblings. Whether it's about talking about Snow White or like some other random subject that they also choose to talk about.
Now that you're here,
Or it's just them making fun of me because I'm playing like Elden Ring. Which I really do want to do more Elden Ring. The only reason I did Elden Ring at 500 subscribers, but it was one of those games where it's like everyone asks for it, but when I do it, nobody shows up. The amount of games that I've been like recommended, it's like, wow, you should play this game, and nobody shows up, is obscene to me. What game did I play recently? Give me a second. I want to just like check my actual like channel real quick on YouTube, because there was a game I played recently and everyone's like, oh my god, I would watch that to death if you played that game. Oh, it was Risk of Rain. Everyone was like, oh man, you should do a Risk of Rain stream. Risk of Rain is such a good stream game. You should stream Risk of Rain more. And I did 8 hours of Risk of Rain, and it was like, I have some people, but it was like one of those games where it was just like, it wasn't engaging enough.
I saw promise in you. Yes, go good.
Rank up. Yes.
You are my ally. Papa has set aside
Wait, I need to pick
certain
a
things for you.
thing. Restore 10% health a second over 3 seconds when health drops below 20%. Cooldown 15 seconds. Necromech stretch, Necromech continuum, Necromech seismic slam. Melee fortification, gain 5% melee damage for every 200 current shield, up to 420 bonus half for overshields. Okay, just get this. Why not?
Right, there you go. Back
Yo,
to
hey, I watched that Risk of Rain stream too. Or did it just like, you just did it while I was in class? It was one of those games where it was like, people would be like, oh my gosh, you would get like so many viewers, or it's like, I would watch that. And you were definitely there, but it was like one of those things where it's like, there's games that are recommended by like a bunch of different people and it's the same game, and then they never show up, and then I'll do it like a few days in a row. And I'll do it for like 3 hours plus. And I always have it at like the same time slot to where I always start around like 3 p.m. Not like the past 2 days to where I was late for both days.
The debris of monstrousness. Let us learn from it.
I need to get this standing up now.
The busy and remain of stalwart mind, Tenno. Even in the face of madness. This ought to keep the group cohesive for a little longer.
Thank you.
Alright, bounties. Exterminate.
Thank you very much.
I need to load into this, and I need to wipe this as soon as possible.
Pull it together.
But bro, you did it while I was in class though. But yeah, it was Elden Ring, and I played so much Elden Ring in the past in like Dark Souls to where I was like, yo, I'm getting nothing. It was like a big fat goose egg in the viewership category, and I was like, I'm fine with doing like goose eggs and like not getting views, you know. It's part of the whole like learning process and like entertainment. It's like when you go, a stand-up comedian goes and tells a joke and, you know, goes to a show and he gets, nobody shows up, and he does his whole routine, and then it just doesn't do well, and he's like, okay, what went wrong in that routine? Was it the context? Was it the venue? Was it me? Was it that I wasn't acted enough? Was I not engaging enough? Should I be more engaging? Should I be more this? Should I have held back here? Should I have added that there? A smidge there? A little bit more current event? And oftentimes it was like either unlucky, or it was just like people asked for something but it's not what they wanted. Like Pokemon fans, they ask for something and they'll get it and they'll be like, actually that's not what we wanted. Like with Black and White. Black and White was a great game, but it got absolutely crapped on and bullied as soon as it came out. And now people are like, oh my god, that game was goated. Oh my god, that game was great. Nothing could ever like top Black and White. Black and White peak. Like crap like that. And I'm like, why? But it's one of those things where I'm like, with streaming, I'm like also learning to where I'm like, recommendations are nice, but that's where they are. They're recommendations, and it's ultimately up to me whether I do them or not. Anyways, I feel like smaller streagles struggle a lot, especially on YT, because it's stupid. It is stupid. And it is a struggle. But it's one of those things where I'm like, I know I'm doing a lot better content for people my size. Like, I look at other people with the same subscriber count as I am, almost at 600, and I have to say, they are atrocious. They are absolutely horrendous. Their microphones, they didn't even attempt to balance them out, and there's some people that are so vain and they don't talk and they're so like little and like dead on stream where I'm like, I'm like, not only do you not have any, you don't have any charisma, I'm like, I'm not seeing any effort. I'm seeing no like attempts to make like any noise, any bits, any jokes. any fun gimmicks, any way of like appealing to anybody. You just sit there and play a game and expect money to just fall into your lap. And that whole mentality is dumb to me. And you're not even like prioritizing entertainment at all. Because every single one of these streams, I absolutely try my best to prioritize maximum entertainment every time. I want people to feel better when they come and watch. I don't want people to come by and be like, wow, that was just one big rage bait trauma dump stream. No, I want them to be like, oh my god, that was a really fun conversation. Oh my god, I learned something new today about the human nervous system. Oh my god, he biffed the easiest thing. Oh my god, I can't believe he didn't get that loot drop. What a loser. And then it's me crying. But it's all in good fun. That's my ideal stream. Along with possibly in the future just having people be like, yo, I'm like amazing at Warframe, put me in, coach. And then I just start putting other fellow gamers in here and they're like, yo, let's team up and absolutely obliterate that.
You woke up a bad thing.
That's what I want to do in Monster Hunter when it comes out. It's like, yo, I need to hunt this monster. Want to help me hunt it? And I'm like, yeah.
I guess you did.
No alternative motives. Nobody coming in here and they're like, let's do a collab. You should promote my thing. No trying to get like clout from me because I'm like, which is stupid. I've had people like trying to get like clout from me and I'm like, I'm not even popular. I'm like, I don't even have my own viewer base yet. I have like 7 dudes that like to watch and I adore them and God bless their hearts, including you, Tut, because I think you're just one of those dudes that just show up when you have the time and you just put me on in the background and you just listen to me yap, and I appreciate you. From here all the way to the heavens to the bottom to hell, I appreciate you. And I feel like those emotions of appreciation and thanks should be expressed to viewers more often, even if you are huge and ginormous or medium or whatever size you are. You know what's funny? A lot of my family members are like, you're weird. You express and say you love me because I'm like, yeah, you're my family member. You're nice to me. You do nice things for me. You get me gifts on the holiday. And I'm like, I think you're amazing. And I think those emotions should be conveyed. Even if you're not good at conveying them, you can still speak the words out loud of I love you, or I appreciate you, or I like when you do this for me. And it means a lot to me. And people don't do it now. And that's one of those things where I'm like, even if I had 2 million viewers like tomorrow, which I hope I don't, because if I get 2 million viewers tomorrow and then they all disappear, it would break my heart. But yeah, trying to get clout from a 600 subscriber is like stupid. Yeah, I had this one dude that was trying to get like a collab from me. And he was like a dude with like a whole family and everything. And he had like 3K views. And it was like, I had like 150 subscribers. And he was like, yo, do a collab with me. We can like team up and do this and that and the other thing. And then he obviously like, also he snagged some viewers for me because he gave them mod. And then he just like catered to them. And I'm like, yo, I want to have conversations like this with you, Tut, but I'm never going to cater to like one person specifically and make it so obscenely one-sided and stupid like that. But like, bro was literally like catering his butt off and brown nosing. And then he even like during one of my streams, like took one of my gimmicks that I used for one of the games. Like I had a game and I was like, yo, this is my emotional support chainsaw. I'm allowed to take it on airplanes because it's for my emotional support. I got a note from my doctor. And dude thought it was so funny that he's like, can I use that? And I'm like, sure, whatever. I don't own words. And he used it, and then he just like overused the joke in the stream I watched. And I was like, he kind of sucks. He was playing a horror game, and he was just like catering his butt off and just using my stolen joke, and then he just kind of sucked, and then that was it.
What do you think?
Which goes to show you, just having a lot of subscribers doesn't mean you're good at streaming. And he was like one of those streamers to where half his head was taking up the freaking screen, and I'm like, yo, I don't want to watch the game. I don't want to look at your freaking head.
Thank you. Here you go.
And honestly, like, I'm not one to, like, my philosophy in life is like, yo, I don't like talking behind people's backs because that's just overly dramatic, and that's what little girls do, is talk behind people's back. Like, if I ever trash talk anybody and I'm just like trash talking them to somebody else, and they're like, and they'll walk up behind me and they're like, yo, dude, he's behind you. I'm like, I don't care. I'm like, these are my opinions. I'm like, I'm not gonna like sugarcoat it and be like, oh my gosh, like, obviously I'm gonna be nice and cordial to people I even don't like, but at the same time, I'm like, when it comes to trash talk, or like you're talking behind people's back, and a ton of people have in my life talked behind my back and absolutely ruined social circles for me with like the little mind games that they play. I'm like, yo, everything I do is out in the open. I'm like, I don't want anyone ever being like, yo, no one never did anything out in the open. He like said this about you behind his back, and I'm like, nah. I'm like, I think you're a dishonest scumbag, and you are a goddamn professional victim. And I'm like, all I do, I'm like, I live my life in truth, which sounds corny as hell, but like, honest to God, I'm like, if you're honest about everything, even the bad stuff, that just gives you like, I don't want to say like a little bit of power, but like if you take accountability for it too. Like, I'm not saying anything like overly bad. I'm like, yo, I didn't like that they said this about that. I don't think that was okay. Yo, talking behind people's back is stupid because that's like, learns about it eventually. Exactly.
Predator out of a trap. Well, now you gotta deal with it. Whatever that is.
It really is. And talking behind people's back is what 12-year-old girls do at slumber parties. And it's not something you should be doing at all. As, like, any capacity as, like, a teenager or an adult. Like, you should be past that behavior. And I've met, like, 40-year-old men who are, like, catty and, like, kind of just, like, acting like little girls. And I'm like, bro, I'm like, you're a 40-year-old man. I'm like, act like it. And they'll, like... And it's like adults too, and it's like teachers and stuff, and they'll like go up to my parents and like, yeah, no one is like this and that and the other thing, and they're like, yo, I'm like, that's really how you feel after like I did all that stuff for you, and like, oh my gosh. Life be messed up sometimes, and people be messed up. But life lesson right now, if you don't talk behind people's back, and you keep all the trash talk in the open, no one can ever say like, oh man, he said this about you. And it's like, nope, I never said that about you, because I would have told you if I said that about you. Because there was like this one thing last year that happened, and all my friends, or like one of my friends group was like, yo, like no one's like this, and he's like super racist like this. And my one friend that knows me is like, yo, wait, hold up. He's like, you do realize he's not actually like bad or like racist. He just doesn't like when race swaps affects like media like that, where it ruins the story. And it's like valid opinions, and it's not even like, and it's like, yo, the occasional 9/11 joke doesn't kill a person. And anyone who's watching this in the future, don't try and high road me and act like you never giggled or like saw a funny meme about 9/11 and you're like, oh, that wasn't funny, that was a tragedy, you can't joke about that. It's like, nah, I'm like, you definitely laughed at it, and you're just as a horrible person as I am. Or the people who try and gaslight me. I had this one chick try to gaslight me and she's like, I've never ever in my life ever said the N-word. And I'm like, nah, I don't believe you for a second. I'm like, there is no point in your life to where you've never ever knew that word existed and never said it, like in a room by yourself. Everyone has said that word at some point. And it's whether you broke an arm and you screamed every slur and everything in your vocabulary because you're in extreme pain, or you in a traffic jam and then you're just like extremely frustrated or somebody cut you off and you're just raging in your car and you're by yourself and nobody could hear you, or it's a lyric in a book or a song, I'm like, you've said that word. Everyone said the N-word, and this person's like trying to gaslight me into being like, I've never said that word ever in my life. And I'm like, I know for a fact you've said that word, and I know friends that have recordings of you actually saying that word. And I'm like, you're quite literally nuts. But yeah, people are nuts. And don't say anything that you'd regret, and you won't regret anything. Such as cuss words, slurs, and other stuff. If you don't say them, no one can ever be like, oh man, that person's mega racist because they say slurs. It's like, no, I don't say that because that's ill manners. And it's not very nice. And you shouldn't be saying those words. And no one can ever be like, oh man. And if they are spoken, it should be purely for comedic reasons only. And within good company too, behind closed doors. And not in public. Yeah, it's like peeing in the shower. Everyone's done it and they don't want to admit it. That's exactly it. And I'm not ashamed. I've done it. Everyone's peed in the shower at least once and they won't admit it. That is like the best example. And that is like perfectly what I'm talking about right there.
All I have, I'm afraid.
I got 16 minutes left, and I think I can crank out another exterminate.
I am grateful for the distraction. Begin.
But yeah, drama is stupid, and people are stupid, and talking behind people's back is stupid. It's for little girls.
The art of combat must be.
And I'm not even one of those guys that's like, oh man, you gotta be like crazy, like grown up, like macho man. I'm like, nah, you don't gotta lift heavy and like be like chugging creatine like a bodybuilder to be like a man about it. Like, just act like one. Own up to your mistakes. Say when you're wrong. Don't be in your own way because of some stupid ego and because some stupid influencer bodybuilder told you that's how a guy is supposed to act and have facial hair and all that stuff. Do what you like. If you're a 40-year-old guy and you like watching Phineas and Ferb because it brings you joy, watch Phineas and Ferb. There's nothing wrong with that. Where the frick is this loser? Okay, he's over here.
And it's out. You let it out.
Where is this? Okay, so one of the markers disappeared for some reason. God, this place is a labyrinth sometimes. But I feel people should just be open about what they say and man up. Yeah, exactly. That's it. That's literally it. Like, even if you're not a man and you're a lady or just a person, like, you should own up to what you're saying because you are accountable for the words you say. And if you do say anything that's like a racial joke or like a 9/11 joke or something like that, immediately after you'd be like, yo, it's just comedy. I don't actually believe any of these thoughts or beliefs or anything like this. These thoughts are like barbaric. Like, I look at racism. I think racism is funny because the thought of like judging somebody based on the color of their skin is such a ridiculous concept to me, to where I'm like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, honest to God, like, I've had problems in my life where people are like, oh my God, no one's racist. And it's like, no. I'm like, I just think it's like an absolutely ridiculous thing, because judging somebody based off like skin color or like, the only thing that matters about a human being right now, this is the only things you should be judging on, a person's character and their actions.
You woke up a bad thing,
You can lie. Words are misleading.
and you killed it.
But actions? Actions are black and white. It's like, yo, what you did there, that was bad. Kicking that puppy was bad.
To be clear, I enjoy doing that.
Someone peer pressures you into like doing something you don't want to do, or it's like, yo, you are very charitable and you shovel other people's driveways in the wintertime and you're just a good human being and you wake up every day trying to be the best you that you are be. That's a strong character right there. You are you, whether you're in front of your parents or in front of your friends or in front of strangers. That's a strong character right there. People who flip-flop because they're in different company, they're weak. Weak character. They're not comfortable enough being themselves in front of different people at all. Like, obviously, like, you're gonna be slightly different in a job interview, but I mean, like, complete, like, when you're hanging out with somebody and they're super nice to you, and then suddenly your third friend shows up and they both just start making fun of you, and then not even, like, in the playful manner.
So
Nah, that's just a turncoat right there. Man, I feel like for the last, like, 20 minutes, I've just been dumping, like, my opinion on what makes a character or a person a good, strong character. And, like, just life advice, which is fine. I like having these little segments about, like, life advice and being, like, not screwed over in social circles by just being a good human being. Because if you're a good human being, no one can ever say anything bad about you. Because there will be nothing bad to say about you.
I'm fine. Thank you. What do you think?
Yeah, I also like these discussions. But let's go with a change of subject. I feel like, I've said all I could say about this for the moment, and I don't want to, you know, be boring and be that guy that's just, like, dumping, like, own personal philosophy on random stranger on the internet. But I do believe I'm correct. I don't believe anything I've said is wrong. And if I am wrong, like, correct me. I'm not too big of an ego to say I'm wrong. I say I'm wrong all the time. Like, recently I had a discussion with my friend and we were talking about, like, Marvel Rivals, and I was like, yo, when you exile somebody as Hulk with his stun, other your teammates can shoot him. And he's like, no, your teammates can't shoot him. They're immune to all damage except from Hulk punches. And I'm like, nuh-uh. And they're like, yeah. Subject: mobile games. Mobile games, you need only one mobile game. And it should be your, like, favorite mobile game. I have one mobile game. It's a One Piece anime-based mobile game. It's called Bounty Rush. I play it every so often. It's got daily logins. It's got a little gacha mechanic. I play purely free-to-play, and it's got little stuff and events for me to do. And it's One Piece, and I like One Piece. And it's my favorite anime, and I don't think there's anything I like more than One Piece. And I love that mobile app game because it's just very fun in every aspect of it. And I would highly recommend giving it a try if you like One Piece and looking for a mobile game. And I think mobile games that are free to play, but they have, like, options like Warframe to where it's like you can free to play, but also you can WoW if you want. And you can still be somewhat competitively viable with free to play is amazing.
Yes, that's there. The book. That's its real body. Kill it.
Man, I feel like I'm taking like 20 kajillion rounds to kill one of these losers.
I'm glad you're okay.
Can I get through that door? No, I cannot. All right, another mod collected. Yo, I've sunk too many hours into Clash Royale, honestly. I've never played Clash Royale. Everyone always recommends Clash Royale, and I'm like, I just haven't had the chance to play it, and I'm like, I'm a one type of phone game guy because I even, like, struggle with daily logins and remembering stuff because I've been playing so many games now. And I really do like phone games because it's like you're sitting in a waiting room at like the dentist, or it's like, yo, you're just like in line, or like you're just like wake up in the morning and you're like, you know what? I want to check my phone real quick and like do my Clash Royale dailies, or like do a few matches and then go on with my day. It feels good to be able to just like do a match on a mobile game on your phone and then close it and then just continue on. Kind of like how if you do like a team deathmatch in Call of Duty, it's like an in and out. There's no commitment. There's no battle pass. There's no nothing. You go in, you shoot a bunch of people, you play the game, and then you leave. And then you either feel refreshed or you killed a little bit of time that you needed to kill. And it's just wonderful. Did I kill that little sucker? I don't think I killed him. Oh, frick. Oh my god. I hate the Belly of the Beast event because it spawns so many of those laser dudes. Non-stop laser guys. But because of how deep I've gotten into the community, I've met a ton of OP exclusive mobile gamers, and it feels a little sad when they cannot experience PC games. Oh yeah. There's always that one point when you're playing a free game in a mobile game to where you meet the whales because you make it to the whale territory, and that's how they want to convince you to spend money on the game. They're like, yo, you're getting your butt kicked, but you could get like this little booster, you could like unlock this character, you could like rush this construction, you can do this one little thing, and you can get like a little advantage to help you, you know, compete with those whales. And that's how they make money, which is fine. I'm okay with that. It's just like how they monetize. You know, I thought I had more to talk about with mobile gaming, but honestly, I don't. But you know what I want to talk about? Battle passes. Battle passes are like the smartest / stupidest freaking thing around. Battle passes, I like the concept of battle passes. You play a game you love. By the end of the season, you purchase the pass, and then you get a bunch of like cosmetics, consumable items, and things to help you along in your journey in the game. And sometimes it's exclusive, like a cool little color, or like skin, or like gun skin or something, and it's like kind of nice, and it's like, wow, it makes you feel good. You know what's stupid is that they're limited time. If I purchase it and don't complete it, they just took my money, and they're all filled with FOMO, and all the companies make you spend 100 hours trying to complete it. Minimal a lot of the time, and they don't respect your time as a gamer if you're trying to collect stuff out of the battle pass that you freaking need for some reason sometimes. Like, Warframe has its own battle pass, and thank God it's really minimal, but there's this special consumable in it. For some builds, you need it, and it's like the most impossible thing to grab in this game. It's called like Umbral Forma, and you need it to like change some of your polarity slots, so like Umbral mods don't take up as much spot. That's a whole different thing. Or it's like Fortnite, oh my gosh, I had to like go away to vacation, or it's like something came up and I couldn't complete the pass, and now I can't do it. Or it's like there's a game that I used to play called Smite, and their pass wasn't based off of how well you played or like even challenges. It was time based. So even if you sat in the game and did nothing, it was time based. which was freaking stupid. And I think the only game that's doing battle passes right now is Marvel Rivals, to where when you buy it, and then when the time is over, you can no longer buy it, but you still have it forever. And you can work on it forever, but you can only have one pass active at a time. That's done correctly, I think, battle passes. $10, no more, maybe 12 is pushing it. And it should not be a huge time commitment, and if it is a huge time commitment, you should give me an alternative way to do it without forcing me to buy tiers like a WoW dumping their credit card into the game. And battle passes were fine when it was just like Fortnite doing it, and it was like, oh, Fortnite has this thing called a battle pass, and like when the concept was new, it was fun. But now every game has a freaking battle pass, and it's so impossible to complete all your favorite games' battle passes all the time. And all the games I play now all have battle passes, and I love all the games I play, but I play them, all of them, mostly casually. So it's so hard for me to actually like stream and enjoy the game I'm playing sometimes, with these stupid battle passes taking 20 years to complete, and then I have to go on to the next pass because I got like 20 days left. And so I either take the L, or I have to live with the regret of never being able to collect that one skin I wanted so bad for like my favorite character. And it's the dumbest thing. And if I do want it and it's like the last 24 hours, I have to spend money to buy tiers. Yeah, like, and like the pure profit prospect, they're essentially like a free $10 for like every user. 100%, and I'm okay with that. Them like looking out for their profit margin. I'm okay with that. I understand they have to buy food and make money and like make a living, but at the same time, I'm like, you can't hold me hostage like this. And then after, if I decide not to be held hostage, you just make me regret ever like playing this game. Or like there's no possible chance. Like, okay, so another game I played that does pet battle passes correct is Fallout 76, a game that nobody freaking likes, but I like it because I'm weird. And their battle passes, they're all free, but they have a subscription service to where you can get more battle pass XP, and you also get bonus items in the battle pass for being a Fallout First member, which I'm like, okay, that's really awesome. So the battle pass is free, and if you want to progress faster and get more loot out of it, you pay for the subscription. And it also has a bunch of other stuff too. So if you love the game and you got that, you get bonuses. And the best part of the battle pass is, like, they have exclusive stuff, but it's not like game-changing stuff. The only exclusive stuff you get out of their battle pass is like a title, a fun thing you can put on your in-game house to say, it's like a poster, and it's like, hey, I completed the battle pass. And it's called a scoreboard, and it's just like a game board that you put up on the wall, and it's just like really nice and decorative, so you can always remember that pass and that update. And there's player icons, and those are exclusive to the battle pass too. But all the like stuff that's like produces like bullets, food, other stuff, skins, all those skins eventually gets put into their in-game shop in an upcharged rate. So if you missed a battle pass at some point in the next year, in the future, you can buy all that stuff that was in that past battle pass. If you just happen to be and check the shop that week at the right time to get that loot that you missed out on, but you have to pay for it versus it being a free battle pass, which I love. So it's either you sit there and grind and get a bunch of free and awesome stuff, or you miss out and you have to just buy it later. Which I'm like, I like that, because one, they're making money. Two, it gives players the opportunity to get stuff they want. And three, it lets players who did go through and grind it out some sense of like, yo, I'm better than you. Like, I got that exclusive player icon that no one else got. And I'm like, that's done right there. Like, Fortnite, some of those dances from like chapter 1, like they had the dance from the Napoleon Dynamite movie and they put it in the game. That battle pass on like dance, I want it so bad because Napoleon Dynamite is just one of those movies that I find just incredibly funny. And so my friends too. And I would like that dance, but I can never get that dance because it was in that battle pass. It's locked out forever. But anyways, Yu-Gi-Oh! Battle Pass is free and it's really easy to chill. Oh yeah, that also sorry for that late response, but yeah, those are the only 2 games that I've encountered to a Battle Pass is done correctly. Fallout 76 and whatchamacallit, Marvel Rivals. But also, yeah, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duels too, Tut, you are so right. That is also such a chill experience to where it's you can chill. It's the players that kind of ruin the battle pass grind for me though, because I've tried grinding out Master Duels battle pass and it's just one of those things where I'm like, yep, another sword soul deck, another Snake Eyes, another Elemental Heroes deck, another like meta deck that's gonna kill me turn 1. And it's to the point to where I'm like, yo, I'm getting dunked on so hard at the skill level I'm at, to where I'm like, I just want to use the fun cards I have and have fun versus winning every duel. But it's hard to have fun when I don't get to play. And also, whatchamacallit, it's just annoying because it's just the game attempting to force me to play the meta crap. Which is fine. It's like, don't play the meta, then just lose. And I'm okay with that. But it's hard because it's every freaking game I play in Master Duels. So it's like meta junk every time. Or it's something that's not meta, but it's so freaking unfair, it might as well be meta. But their battle pass though, like taking away the player experience of that game, is really good. They have a free pass to where you can unlock a bunch of stuff and a bunch of consumables, and then you could pay like $5, and then you can get a bunch of other really good loot too. So Master Duels is another game I would say that has a really good battle pass, and it is really easy to grind out. Also, wait, what do you play? Master Duels. I'm a gold player, and I've spent well over like a year making it in the most unfair crap ever. I mean, like, I take my like crappy ramshackle deck all the way up to gold, and then I'll get out of gold, and then I'm like, yep. I'm like, this stopped being fun because now I'm out of gold, and then everyone's just crapping on my deck. And my deck's one of those decks that just punishes players for spamming monsters, like everyone loves to do. You know those people who love like spamming monsters, and the only thing that stopped me are monsters that straight up stop you from taking life point damage, and monsters that can never ever be killed no matter what you do. Monsters that can never ever be killed no matter what you do are super lame. But yeah, I play in like upper silver, gold, low, whatever's after gold. I think it's flat. In Master Duels. So I've played enough Master Duels to have an opinion on it, because I'll never have like a really polarizing like this is crap opinion on something if I've never played it enough. Or I'll be like, it wasn't for me. Oh, frick, that hurts.
It's still out there. You have to kill all of it, not just the skin. Yes, that, there, the book. That's its real body.
All right, let's kill this stupid book. Now I can... Nope, I can't go to extraction. This guy wants me to kill him, and I'm gonna do it. Alright, get over here.
I told you not to mess with it. I'm glad you're okay.
But yeah, I'm a monster spammer. My combo is like no less is no like 5 minutes, but it's a combo. I've invented, so I'm proud of it. See, that's good. I like that. If you take those people who take 5 minutes for their turn, it's like, okay, bro, you could have killed me like 3 monsters ago, but you didn't because you wanted to do your full combo. I'm like, screw you. There's some turns in Master Duels where I'm like, I should have won the duel by default if the timer didn't reset each turn. They need to change the timer in Master Duels so it's like a chess timer. If you don't know what a chess timer is like, it's like, I'll make my move, I'll hit the button, and it'll stop the counter from counting down for 10 minutes. And it'll stop at like, I don't know, let's say I take 30 seconds, so it's at like 9:30. That's when my timer stopped, and I hit the button. And then they take their turn, they take 5 minutes, their timer stops at 5 minutes, and then I take my turn, I take another 30 seconds, and then they take another 5 minutes, and then they lose the duel because they spent 10 minutes on 2 turns, and I only spent a minute on 2 turns. I would win so many games. I would be like so beyond plat in Master Duels if that was how it worked. But it isn't. The timer in Master Duel resets each time your next turn happens. I'd be fine with that timer. I can work with a 10-minute total. It would keep games short. It would keep players like so much happier too. And it would make players be like not hem and haw. They got to make decisions. And you could actually play a little bit more on the mental mind game side, as in if you're ahead in time, you can kind of like take your turns quick, and if you put them in a tough spot and make them really think really hard for like a minute, you could actually win that way.
I'm afraid.
Which is definitely like a way people win in chess. No, not chess, it's chess, not chess with a T. Oh, quick stretch. Let me check something real quick on my other monitor. All right, I'm all done. I'm all done checking.
Of course.
I'm gonna leave this place to do more of this later. I want to go to a different location now. But then that brings up the issue of IRL card games has with timer rules. No, IRL card games also have the chess timer too. Some of them in some of the tournaments, I think. A game of Yu-Gi-Oh, a game of Magic should not take longer than 10 minutes. Because then it just turns into a League of Legends game to where it's everyone just stalling everything. And there's some people that when they play card games, they like to think of every single move they can possibly think of and then make their turn. And sometimes some people like to sit there for like 15 straight seconds and they're not even thinking. And I'm like, bro, I'm like, take your turn. I'm ready to go. I have my game plan. And they don't even have a game plan. And it's okay not to have a game plan. But at the same time, when it's every game and nobody has a game plan and I'm waiting for you, I'm done waiting for you. I want to play the freaking game. I want to win or I want to lose. And I want to do it within like 20 minutes, 15 minutes. I had games in Master Duels last me 30 minutes because people were stretching out the timer to the last second. Like some players in Master Duels absolutely abuse it. The IRL Yu-Gi-Oh card game has the worst time rules ever because once the timer runs out, whoever has lower life instantly loses. So people run cards that do 300 damage to cheese the win. That's a viable strategy. That's a hate the game, not the player type thing because that's a simple rule change where they'll just have to take that away. And if you run out of time, you lose. Because I feel like the run out of time you lose is much better than the higher life point wins at the end of the timer. Along with individual time. And it's not like those timers don't exist. Like, those timers literally exist. They're the chess timers that they use in all the tournaments. They can literally just take a chess timer and bring it to a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. There's people that play chess in the park and they own their own timer. So it's not even like they're that expensive. They're probably cheap as hell. They're probably at max, like maybe $100 for like the most like tournament official timer ever. And I'm like exaggerating. And the timer is literally just like 2 buttons and 2 clocks.
The art of combat must be practiced to truly master the canvas of war.
Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching.
No, that's really cheap. I have like an IRL cheese sweat who has a ton of them. Yeah, I hope no one plays with him and he just learns that no one likes playing with anyone that plays like that. You know what I like? I like the Reddit horror stories of the people who show up to card shops and they're just like the smelliest, grossest, like they're just like a trash baby that just crawled out of a dumpster type of stink. Like the people who didn't know deodorant was invented and that we have actual indoor plumbing and running water in the 21st century.
You're still in the clear. No detection from enemy sensors.
Or like the people who like steal from the card shop and they're like, I never get caught. And the owners are like, yeah, we're just gonna lock the store down until we find these cards. Did I just go into a pit? I did just go into a pit. If you can hear my dog barking, just ignore that. Ooh, I got shock on my weapon now.
Broken. Well done.
That's nice.
Now get to extraction.
I need to get to this freaking extraction. I'm sorry, I zoned out because my dog was barking. I was trying to listen in on what's going on up there. You know, like in IRL, like cheese sweat like has like 1800 and like 19,000 elo. Oh, chess sweat, not like Yu-Gi-Oh sweats tournament type of. All right, I get you now. I'm picking up what you're putting down. But yeah, that sucks, like, insanely hard. Let me buy some junk real quick. Few offerings. Let me buy some relic packs. 1, 2, 3 relic packs. I like that Warframe introduced the concept of relic packs because you need those for unlocking some content, or not some content, some collectibles in weapons and frames. And you always have to like do missions and you get them in missions, but you can always trade in like your standing or your reputation that you have with these factions. And they're like, yo, here's some free relics or like some other mods and materials that you might need. Really easy. And it's really nice.
Always something. Oh, no, I thought. So.
All right, hex standing. I just need another like 3,000. Redeem. Yeah, I'll lose out on 500.
This later.
Quincy.
All right, view hex standing. Rank up.
Congratulations.
Oh my god, finally I made it to that rank. No, bro for real needs glasses. It's not that I need glasses, it's just that sometimes I just suck at reading. Alright, can I I was gonna buy the blueprint for a weapon, but apparently the game will not allow me to buy the blueprint for the weapon with my rank up reward. So I guess I will just choose... I don't want the pistol. I don't want the submachine gun. I want this arcane.
Hop on text for a second. The team got you something.
Ooh, I like this sequel. Alright, so now I gotta go through this whole text thing. Time to pick up a textbook. Oh. Anyways, right now I'm just kind of... I can always just go through this later. Right now I'm just talking to these dudes. These guys are just like the proto frames or the NPCs in this faction, and they're the new, like, in the past, like before Warframes were Warframes, these guys were the original frames. No, but sometimes people read things wrong, you know, and that's okay. Oh my god, you should see some of my family members, because some of my family members, they'll pick up like a gift card and they'll be like, what is this word? And I'm like, it's like the easiest word in the world. And it's like, I do like read a ton of books though, because I do struggle with like reading comprehension and all that stuff. There's some points on this stream to where it's like sometimes you'll type something, like you typed something earlier, Tut, and my brain short circuits, because when God put my brain together, he messed up a few of the parts. And whatchamacalls it, it's not me being like dramatic, like actual like doctors and like actual diagnosis, and I'm not gonna like be that trauma dumping streamer that's like, oh yeah, I'm like on the spectrum. I freaking hate those people. You know what I hate most? People who are like, I'm on the spectrum, and then they use that as an excuse to be a crappy human being. I've been seeing that so much this past year and a half. It absolutely makes my blood boil. I'm like, just because you're on the spectrum slightly, because you can't pay attention, because you have a crappy attention span, you think that just gives you the right to just like bail on plans and like insult people and just be a crappy human being.
One shot espresso in a tall glass.
But I do try to read at least like 2 hours a day to improve reading and actually do textbooks. And I do like reading textbooks. Reading textbooks are fun. I feel like I'm the only person that like likes going through a dictionary or like a thesaurus or going through Wikipedia and just looking up random articles and just learning in general. When not being forced to learn. I mean, like 99% of my family can't speak English, so I know people on the spectrum and they're like literally normal people. Yeah, literally, like, I don't want to say like I'm on it, but it's like literally my school was like, your English, your language comprehension, like that part of you is so absolutely shriveled and dead. And like, one of the graduation requirements for my school is to like learn a language. The state was like, you don't have to learn a language, because to make you or force you to attempt to have you learn a foreign language would just be like torturing a cat. It wouldn't work. You wouldn't be able to do it. And I'm like, honest to God, I'm like, as I've gotten older, I'm like, you know what? That's fair. I do suck at reading, and I do work really hard at it. And it's just one of those things where I'm like, and I do like being razzed for it sometimes, because sometimes I do make stupid mistakes, but you know what? That's just, I just gotta work harder on it. And you're right. I'm gonna go pick up that textbook. I'm gonna go learn some more grammar. It also doesn't help that English is freaking messed up. English is a whack language. All right, what do these guys do? I'm just gonna burn them. God, I'm thinking about it right now, and like the more I think about it, I'm like, the more whacked out English is. But the best thing Wikipedia gave us was speed runs. Oh yeah, I love Wikipedia. Like for gaming, like there's so much easy access, information, spreadsheets. Man, I love a good spreadsheet when I'm playing games, like, especially in Warframe, because spreadsheets make trying to observe diminishing returns in games so much easier, and I love it. Like, what's it called? I think I learned about like in-game soft caps and hard caps when I played Dark Souls 1. If you don't know what a soft cap and a hard cap is, when you put stat points into a stat, there are, I don't want to say a moment to where you get diminishing returns with a stat point. So let's say it's level 1, you put 1 stat point into strength, you get 5 points of strength with that 1 skill point. And then it's like after level 30, you get 4 points of strength. So that means you just hit the soft cap, and then you're going to start reaching diminishing returns. But it's not, you're not the hard cap yet, so it's like level 40. That's the hard cap. So now you're going to start getting 2 points of strength for every skill point you put into strength. And that's so on. After that hard cap, the number will keep going down till it reaches 1. Or in some games, they keep going down till they reach a number that's lower than 1. In which case, some diminishing returns diminish all the way to 0. But, yeah. Things Dark Souls taught me, mathematically. Diminishing returns. Yeah, but English is really inconsistent, and an Asian language, home, and I'm learning Japanese, both are way more consistent. They really are. They honestly and truly are. But you got diminishing returns. It's a soft cap. Yep. But there's also the hard cap, to where the hard cap is either just completely is just one big roadblock stopping you, or it's that's when the diminishing turns get really crazy. Or at least that's what my understanding of them has been. I could potentially maybe be wrong. Alright, I want to get out of here. Get me out of this stupid underground mall. You know, I'm still using radiation, and I'm not sure that's the most ideal against these guys. Let's swap it up and change it to toxin damage. That might be more effective against them. Actually, wait, no. I think magnetic's the best against them because they're a bunch of robots.
Ain't nobody gonna mess with the Hex now. Not Skuldra, not Tech Rock. You feel me?
Alright, so everyone's dead, so let's get the frick out of here. Is my... No, I got another minute 45 on that. Who's already at the end objective? Who speed ran their way all the way back there? Oh, never mind. I thought it was way farther away. I thought it was like 300 meters. I didn't realize it was like 200 meters, but it was just like around a building. These also, you get diminishing returns. It's a soft cap. The caps are why I can't bring myself to play Neo or Diablo, because of how hard you grind for like 0.5 increases. You know what was good? The Diablo 3 system. Like, obviously you hit the cap at like 800 with the Paragon levels in, what's it called? Diablo 3. there's like a hard cap on like your movement, crit chance, and all that stuff, and I understand that, but there's no limit on like your health pool and resource pool. So you could have like 2 million magic and never run out of magic with no magic regen items in Diablo 3. And then Diablo 4, I don't know what they did to Paragon levels, but I know they butchered it, like Gearbox did with Badass rank. And there is a point where diminishing returns, like Badass rank in Borderlands 2, their numbers do get really low, but they stop at 0.1. So it is possible to endlessly get Badass rank in that game. And there's some players that love playing Borderlands 2 so much that they just keep playing over and over and over again. And they just... what's the word I'm looking for? They reach such a high fire rate and like damage and everything in the game to where it would blow you away. And obviously you can cheat Borderlands 2 also and mod in your Badass rank and get all that up, which is also viable. And you can do that in Diablo 3 too, to where there's modded weapons to give you like insane amount of XP. And then you can hit the soft cap for Paragon level at 800 immediately. And then go beyond that. Like, I think my Paragon level in Diablo 3 is like 2300. But because they never added crossplay and it's on my Xbox, I don't think I'm playing that anytime soon. And I'm not too keen on playing Diablo 3. And I'm really sad that Diablo 4 bombed because they all got crazy greedy. Nothing saddens me more. I pre-ordered Diablo 4 like an idiot, thinking I'm like, there's no way they can mess up Diablo 4. The formula is tried and true. Wait, where am I? Oh my god, I got stuck in that stupid bus. Alright, I gotta find... there we go.
Fam, tech works well, man. Situation's about to be proper mental. Halfway there. On the job, no quit.
Did we not get the cash? Wait, how did they get the cash, but we didn't, I didn't put the star in? Did I put it in and don't remember? Also, yeah. If I love a game, I can't drop like 500 hours into it and get bored really easily. Loving a game, yeah, you can drop 500 hours in a game so easily if you're having fun the entire time. Alright, I'm gonna do this supply drop to scan for any items nearby. Alright, where the frick are these items? Are they like way back here? Yeah, they're like way back.
You got the worst of it. Now come on home, fam.
Wait, is this? Oh shoot, what the frick just happened? I just like jittered forward. Wait, am I going backwards? Oh, shoot, I'm going backwards. I hate these missions with all this infested gunk, where everything's just crazy confusing. Oh, come on. I misinput. All right. The most I've spent in a single game was 200 hours getting 100% on Pokemon Ultra Sun. Yeah, I even struggle getting 500 hours in some games, but I think Warframe is one of those games where I'm like, I definitely, and I've been playing Warframe for like since like 2013 on like the Xbox, and there's some times where I'm like I haven't played it for like 2 years and then I come back to it. But like Warframe is a game that I think I definitely have over 1,000 hours on, but that's also because I played it over the course of like 8 years.
Don't try to speech me.
¿Qué onda?
All right, Hexa standing. I don't know if I need any of these, but I can sell some of these for some extra standing.
No problema. Try to stay in one piece.
Another bounty. I'm at 10K, so I just need to get another 10K, I guess. Another exterminate. When does this reset? In an hour. Okay, I got time to do another exterminate and then swap to a different activity in this game. Yeah, bro really stayed the entire time just to cancel my mission. 2013 was like 12 years ago, BT dubs. It's not like I'm doing like real math. And I said I played for like 8 years because I skipped a few years of Warframe. So I only played Warframe from like for actually like 8 years. Because there was a few years I didn't play Warframe. And I was doing that little like mental math of picking the years I didn't play. Like I didn't play in like 2016 or like 2017 or like 2020 or like 2019. Like there are some years I just skipped, or like some years I played so little, I'm like, I might as well not even count that year.
Scout your supply cache in the area. You get near, it will start ticking. Self-destruct. Need to be quick.
Now, if I played Warframe straight from 2013 to right now in 2025, oh my god, that would be so freaking much. Like, that would be... I would have so much loot in Warframe, it would be stupid. I would have mountains upon mountains of loot in Warframe. Like, I would have resources stashed up so high that it would boggle your mind and confuse you. And there's definitely some players that have played that much, and they have, like, a cajillion, like, stuff.
Them up and cut them down.
Yeah, it really is crazy how long ago that is. Brick or these other stars. So right now there's this little side activity to where I can get a bonus collectible if I find these little, like, charges and open up the chest before it detonates. That's what we're doing right now. All right, they found the rest of the charges, thank God.
The situation's about to get proper mental.
All right, let's spam that. Activate some magnetism. And do we have any more? Yeah, we have one more thing over here. Did one of these guys pop a little search node too? Oh, a little loot box back there. He was just hiding. He was just trying to hide from all the crazies, I guess.
Over and out, fam.
You know what's cool? At Warframe, on your profile, you can check your stats to see how many enemies you've killed. And I think I'm definitely over 1 million of, like, enemies killed in Warframe. I have to be. There's no way I'm not over 1 million in Warframe for blood shed upon everything. God, the mountains of bodies the Warframe community's probably made over the years is like, I'm thinking about it, it's got to be in like the trillions. It's got to be a number so obscene. Also, we starting to reach the UNC status, bro. What's the UNC status? And also, it makes sense. It's crazy how long ago. Oh yeah, I already read that, but yeah, I don't think I'm getting my fun AX-52, even though it's just an AK-47. I like that they have an AK-47. It's like, no, it's the AX-52. It's completely different, uncle. How are we reaching uncle status? I'm not that old. Or am I? No, age is one of those things where I'm like, that's a personal question where I'm never going to answer. So if you do think I'm like 32, then I'm 32. If you think I'm like 17, then I'm 17. Because everyone always has some type of weird bias whenever you see an age. Like right now, would you be watching me if there was like a video camera and then there was me and I was just like bald and crazy bad and I was like 56? Unk status is a meme. See, that's how you know I live under a rock. You know what I hate? When people start talking about music and they're like, yeah, did you see like the new like album of this? And I was like, who's that? And they're like, the most famous person around, obviously. And I'm like, who? And I feel like I'm the crazy person when everyone's like on like the same hive mind network.
Scout your supply cache in the area. You get near, it will start ticking. Self-destruct. Need to be quick to get the goods.
Oh yeah, okay, so that is magnetizing all of them. I was about to say, I'm like, did I make sure to magnetize all those losers in that hallway? And I did with that dash. Okay, so let's get another stack of these stars, but it's like, Google it. Yo, I don't want to Google it because everyone's like, yo, whenever there's like stuff like that, or it's like whenever someone's like, look it up on Urban Dictionary, it's like, I don't like Urban Dictionary because half the time they get it wrong and it's not what everyone meant because they changed the meaning of it, so Urban Dictionary is useless. Or it's like some really weird like sexual thing. And it's just gross. But whatchamacallits? Gosh, why do they always want to make slang that's gross? You know what I've encountered recently? Or not recently, it was like last year, and one of my friends, it was like a swear word, and it's like, no, it's an acronym for like charismatic, unique, and then it was just like some other acronyms, and it's like, it's really positive, and I'm like, no, it isn't. And they're like, what are you talking about? It's like, it's a wonderful acronym for like beauty and like being yourself and being an individual. I'm like, no, you just want to say a swear word and get away with it. I'm like, if I made an acronym for the N-word and I told you it was about like being accepting of all people and races, you wouldn't focus on the acronym. You just focus that I just straight up said the N-word. My bad, my dog just barked and took it off, but it was like one of those things where it's like someone made an acronym for just a straight up curse word, and they're like trying to say it's positive, and it's just like, it's not positive. They just wanted to get away with saying it, and everyone was like too dumb to realize it. Where the... I was gonna say, where am I supposed to be going? And then I realized, I'm like, I don't need to be going anywhere. I just have to keep killing these dudes. That's the whole mission. That's how you know when I've been talking too much. in playing for too long when I forget what I was doing and the only assignment was just to continue committing mass murder. Right, let's do another scan for any relics. Give me that. The reason I need to collect all these freaking like magazines, toys, and all this junk is because some of the level ups for this faction is you need to collect like 8 pizzas, 3 like old film things, and other junk. And I just have a sneaking suspicion I'll need them, and you can also trade them in for reputation if, you know, you're having a day and you're like, you know what, I don't feel like doing a bunch of missions. And you can just like cash in all your like would get like 1,000 rep for doing that thing. Junk. Can I? No. Oh, that's just Necroses and his minions. All right, let's just put a good old magnetize on. All right, time to Google UNC. How long have I been streaming for? I've been streaming for 3.5 hours. That's a good amount of time right there. Unk status, meaning oh, that's what it means. All right, so it's not some weird like sexual thing, unk status. It's just like saying you have an old soul. Yeah, a lot of people tell me I have an old soul. I'm not entirely sure what it means, but I've definitely gotten that before on stream. Where it's just like, yo, you just got like an old soul.
If you ever wonder why you're in a situation like this, something I can do.
All right, I think I hit my standing cap for the day. I did. Unfortunately, I can't get any more. And I'm so close to being able to make that sweet, sweet AK, I mean AX-52. Clearly not an AK-47. It's an AX-52.
Well, pretty is as pretty does.
I will buy one of these because that is a very good mod because it increases ability strength depending on your frame's max health. And it's very much needed. Alright, so before I do anything else, I should probably... Arcane Grace is maxed out. Arcane... Where is it? I just bought it. I know it has a B in it. Here we go. Bellicos. Upgrade. Okay, so I would need, like, an obscene amount of health to absolutely maximize that. Is there anything else I need to do on Warframe today? Let's swap this out and put on a weapon that I'm not using as a melee weapon. I think I got a new weapon, too. Where is it? I think it was, like, a dual weapon, so it would be in the D's. Here we go. Choppy axes. Axe worthy of an executioner, refined to the Orichan perfection.
Will you begin another mission?
Seem kind of small for axes. Life Strike, Guardian Descent, blocking taunts enemies within 6 meters. Heavy Strikes, plus 20% life steal on heavy attacks. I don't know. Let's just put that on. Elements on heavy attacks, heavy trauma, rendering strike, molten impact. Let's look up some prime. Let's get some prime pressure point. Whoops.
Your collection of mods is impressive, operator.
Prime, not prime, molten strike. Scorching touch. And yeah, plus 40 heavy attack, more electricity. We can just start doing heavy attacks, I guess. And attacks plus 35% attack speed for every wait, on melee kills. So if I kill somebody, I get more. Oh, sweet. I get more chopping speed for each head I take. Well, I mean, like, it maxes out at 2 heads, but I mean, like, that's still 2 whole heads. And more choppy speed. Wait a second. Restore 1 health per status effect affecting the target. That seems kind of OP on Lavos. Alright, let's get a stance mod. And where was it? I just saw it. There we go. No, I want to go back. Okay, level this up. Only 3 health. I mean, like, I'll take it. I'm not going to waste too much endo leveling that up. And I don't think I have any Forma left for today, so I guess I'm just kind of stuck with what I got for the moment. And I should definitely just go and do this survival. Shoot some more dudes in the head, make their heads explode like watermelons. God, what if Warframe went extreme on the gore like Borderlands did? Because in Borderlands, there's an in-game mechanic to it's like when you kill an enemy, they'll die. But when you're like 20 levels ahead of them and you got like 7k more damage than their like 10 health bar, they explode into a bloody pulp. And it's like, I don't want to say it's a little extreme, but it's a little extreme sometimes. Alright, so go back here.
Life support has
Do
been
we
cut off.
open the
They're trying
door?
to choke you out.
No, we opened the door, but it just
sending
didn't want to
auxiliary
open.
life
That was really freaking weird, actually. You know what I like most about Lavos, this Warframe? It's all status, and status is king. And why can't I use my B? No, it was grayed out for some reason. Not my, wait, isn't that my B? Yeah, that's my B button ability. How tiny these axes are. They're like little baby axes. This is like something I would buy at the hardware store to like, I don't know, like cut branches off trees like a little hatchet. They look so tiny on me. Maybe if I had like a smaller Warframe, they'd look bigger. You know, proportionate. But they don't look proportionate. Alright, let's activate the fire proc and just make all my attacks just scorch everything alive. God, that is a lot of fire damage.
I've delivered a life support capsule to the area. Activating it will buy you more
Alright,
time.
what was corrosive? I would think corrosive is fire poison. Because you know, you're like corrosive damage. It makes sense. Fire poison, but it's actually electricity fire for some reason. No, that's radiation. So what's corrosive? Oh, corrosive's toxic electricity. It's not fire. Okay. I'll learn it. I'll learn it. I'm still learning some of the combos for elements, even though I should know them by now. Alright, so corrosive electricity makes corrosive. Okay.
Get ready for a capsule.
Oh yeah, that corrosive is so magical. Let's mix up some radiation next. Whoops, I got stuck.
Another life support capsule is now available.
More corrosive. Pop that. Let's just get one big fat AoE. You know what's another cool about Lavos that I like? If you increase his duration of his abilities, they also increase status effects. That's what duration affects for him. So it doesn't make his abilities last longer. It makes all the statuses he inflict last longer. So they tick for longer. And if you do that, then whatchamacallit, it also makes the status effects on your gun last longer too. So you could technically double all your elemental damage over time by just increasing duration on your weapon, which is nuts. And I don't think there's another Warframe that does something like that. Like, I mean, like, increase, like, status duration that much. Like, I don't think there's another Warframe that does more status, or is more status-oriented than Lavos. Because Lavos is, like, there's other Warframes that might be able to, like, pump out more status procs than him easily. But no, not to the degree of, like, everyone's getting a little bit of something from everywhere. With Lavos.
Another life support capsule.
Man, I really need to go to that void ship and finish upgrading Arcane Blessing. Because getting Arcane Blessing maxed out would help so much with health scaling. Too.
When you need it, extraction is ready.
I mean, like, this is just for the what's it called? The moats.
Life support.
Hey, there's another Lavos. I mean, like, he's new, so I guess a lot of people are gonna be playing him. that an Arca Plasmor? Gosh, that Arca Plasmor is kind of freaking cool.
It is done, Tenno.
Why do I keep on getting primary Deadhead as an arcane? I mean, like, knock on wood, I love getting the arcanes, but like, I keep on getting the same freaking drop. All right, so these have leveled up a ton. Is there anything for me to do here? Oh, yes, there is. I can definitely upgrade some stuff. First ability consumes all energy to increase damage from 5 to 6 seconds, deals 4 to 6 additional damage for every % of energy consumed. Void Strike? Do I want that? That doesn't seem good. Uh, 20% energy efficiency on consecutive Void Slings. That actually seems really helpful, so I'm going to unlock that, and I do not have enough. I'll commit to that.
Ordis has been counting stars, operator. All accounted for.
I need to maybe perchance, maybe adjust this weapon? No. No, it's fine as it is. Vehicles, I really would like to upgrade this though. So, electricity, I know I got some new stuff. Combustion rounds. We got heat and we got corrosive. Magazine extensions, kind of important. The atomic trigger, not so much. Critical chance. What's my critical chance on this weapon? Not the greatest. Not the worst. Alright, so it's... that. That gives me corrosive and radiation. And I lost the heat. And I'm okay with that. And I need the shells to come back faster for this gun, so I will upgrade that. And... no, I just want to add cold. Can I add cold and have it just be cold? No, wait. I can put the heat back on. So we'll keep the heat. We've got the Rubidoux lined barrel. And... yeah, everything looks better on my arc gun now. Sometimes you gotta do a little maintenance on the arc wings. Just a little bit. Do I want to potato this arc wing? Maybe. Oh, wait. What does this frickin' do? Seeking Fire. Fires a large volley of homing missiles. Number of missiles, 8. Range, not the greatest. Ability duration, shield capacity. Is there anything amping up the damage? Ability range, plus 100 health. Max energy. No, nothing really. It's really amping this up. Yeah, no wonder I didn't put a potato on this thing. Freaking sucks. Well, it doesn't suck, but it's like, it's not ideal. Probably not like this gun. No, this gun isn't ideal either. Look at that. It looks like he's holding a brick. I know that's a gun on my Necromech. It's just a piece of concrete that shoots a beam of radiation, basically. Which I really like, because who doesn't want a brick that shoots nuclear fission at your enemies? Watch their blood boil and their skin melt. Alright, I haven't checked Duravi. So basically, Duravi is their Warframe made a roguelike mode. And that's what Duravi is. Okay, so I can get the Boar Incarnate, the Armstrong Incarnate, awakens this weapon's ability to fire 3 short-range beams that chain link enemies in the Incarnate form. And the Gamma Core Incarnate Genesis is good, apparently. How much time do I have on this? Yeah, I got time. I'm pretty sure. I don't need to do that now. Ask me later. Alright, what do we got for alerts? We got a capture. Captures are good. Everyone loves a good capture. Capture is possibly one of the best mission types because it's just, you go in, you beat up a dude, you abduct him, and then you leave. That's it. No more, no less. And how come he has a little face on his ship? I want a face on my ship. Look at that. I loaded in and they already captured him. I know they're capturing him because I can hear the screams.
Excellent work. We'll interrogate the captive back at base. Your part is done here, Tenno.
I love that everyone's just like using like the fastest Warframes they got to absolutely sprint through every facility ever. Like some people use Titania to fly around, some use Wukong to turn into a cloud and then blast through. Right now we're just following a Neja on her firewalk. Also, I love the naming they choose for Warframes in this game. They're like actually makes sense. The only one I don't like is where they change the name of a Warframe that manipulates glass, and they were gonna name her Glass, and then they're like, you know what's a better name than Glass? Gara. And then immediately all people could think about and make memes about was the character Gara from Naruto immediately. And I'm like, maybe if they were sandblasting everybody, it'd be Gara, but it's Glass. Alright, let me go turn in these motes, because I think I got a good chunk of them now again. Warframe's really nice right now, because there's a lot of stuff to do in Warframe that I enjoy. Like, especially this event, because this event basically lets you get loot that is freaking impossible to grind, unless you're like an uber sweat and you're about to dunk 500 hours into the game, and you also have 3 other uber sweat friends that can dunk 5 hours in the games with you just hunting one creature over and over and over and over again. And you like min-max the entire process.
For so long it has just been Ordis and the operator.
Alright, so I want to just go through his inventory real quick.
Jade's volatile modes are finite and irreplaceable. Get to them all first.
Alright, so we got some accessories we can get. So I'm trying to think if there's any of these motes that I'm gonna need. Like arcane trickery on finish kills, become 15% chance to become invisible for 5 seconds. No. Velocity on crit hits, 90% chance to fire 20 plus 20% fire rate for pistols. No. Precision on headshot, more damage. Maybe, but no. Arcane Fury on critical hit, 6% chance to deal 30% more damage on melee hit. On headshot, on damage, 21% chance for plus. No, that's just, I have to take damage to increase crit chance? No, why would I want that? There's other ways to increase crit chance besides standing there and getting beat up like some kind of masochist. On crit hits, 9% chance to, no, alright, so yeah. These ones are kind of booty cheeks. You can tell because of how freaking cheap they are. They're 2 a pop.
Perhaps the operator needs to take another
One of the
trip to
clan
crypt
ones.
to
If
have
you're in a
saved
clan, you can
Jade.
get these
Orbis
ones.
has rerun a simulation of
They are
events
nice.
600,004,043 times, and Ordis has still not found a satisfactory course of action.
Alright, Arcane Barrier. Arcane Barrier is not good on many Warframes, but the Warframes it is good on, it is so essential. Like Hildren, a Warframe that is only shields and nothing but shields. Having Arcane Barrier on Hildren is so huge because it's like a 5% chance to instantly regenerate all your shields when your shields get hit. And if your entire health bar is just shields, you're just chilling. Nothing's really messing with you. Arcane Barrier upgraded. Alright, so I think that's enough for now because I need to eat, do some normal hygiene stuff, and, you know, just move around and move my body. So I would like to thank you all so much, but don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to go over stream times real quick so you can catch me. It's not always Warframe either. So I stream every day at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or after 3 p.m. I have a Discord in the description down below. There we go. To let you know if I'm, like, not going to stream. And the reasons I won't stream would be, like, I'm dead. I'm extremely sick. I'm out. Power outages. Something happened and I just can't attend. Just IRL junk. Whether it's, like, school, job, like, family, holiday. It'll be there in the Discord and I'll be like, yo, can't today. Like, Super Bowl Sunday, I'm like, I'm gonna go watch the Super Bowl. No stream today. Go have fun today. And then Philadelphia got tore apart. But anyways, no Discord. Notification bells are a great way to know when stream starts, when videos are uploaded. And if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. If not, I just hope you enjoyed and you come back another day to enjoy whatever I may be doing with my random ramblings or me just being not genuinely, just generally confused about what's going on and just hitting moving targets. Or, you know, whatever I may be doing. Maybe Elden Ring in the future. Elden Ring would be a lot of fun. I gotta get on that. But I just want to say thank you all so much for watching, talking, chatting, and just hanging out for so long. And I just want to... It just means a lot to me that I'm able to stream and then, like, 2 or 3 people watch. And it means a lot to me to have those 2 or 3 eyes. It feels amazing not to sit here and attempt to talk nonstop for 3 hours plus every day and actually have people here. So I just want to say thank you so much, and I just hope you have a good rest of your day, and I hope you come back another day when you have time, or just to pop in to say hi. So thank you so much again, and I'm just going to end